Hello everybody, welcome. Another Witchy Book Club live stream. We are going to be doing the Kitchen Table Tarot finale by Melissa Cynova. We have gone over all of the other sections of the tarot except for the final, which is the court cards. And then she had a few pages at the end talking about, professional reading and stuff like that. Hello to everybody coming in. I hope you're having a beautiful morning. I'm very, very, very excited to talk about the court cards because they are some of my favorite. Hi, Simon. Hi. I hope that you're doing well. Woohoo, I made one. I know. I feel like the time that I do these, it's either perfect for people or the worst for people. But it's the only time that really works for me to have a consistent live stream time. So super excited to go over today's section and to finish out. Hi, Chris Ann. I hope that you're doing really well this morning as well. And I love the court cards. Love them so much. I feel like you hear a lot of the times people, again, either love or hate the court cards because they either have a difficult time learning them or kind of understanding what it is. Solaria says, off to make coffee and hang out. Yay! Hi, Celtic Witch. I hope that you guys are doing well. I have always loved the court cards. I picked them up super easy for what I feel resonates with the meaning for them or the archetypal energy for them. I think that might have been because of the fact that I started from astrology, so I was very into like archetypal energies in that sense. And I'm really, really excited. I would like for us to really get our juices going and our brains going for associations of characters from books, characters from movies or TV shows. I'll probably be referencing like a lot of Disney cartoon characters because I feel like those characters have such extreme honed in personality types that it's easier to kind of put them to one archetype of the court card, whereas when you get to like TV shows and movies, a lot of the times characters can be more than one-dimensional. So I would like to do that. I think it's really fun to do that, as well as it makes it a little bit easier for people who are really struggling or trying to learn the court cards to have like a character to kind of think about with them. So as people are coming in, I'm gonna, before we start, good morning everybody, watching during hangout during a medical procedure. You are dedicated and I hope everything goes well. Thank you so much for tuning in, Katie. Hi, Psychic Refugee. Hi, Anne. Hi, Thessa. Thessa? Is that how you say it? Thessa Roy? And Angie. Hi, Angie. And hi to everybody else who came in that I missed your name. Okay. We have a lot to go over before we even get to the reading per usual, so let me get right in. This week I've made a list, so I am going to get through this quickly. First of which, if you have not joined already, we do now have a Witchy Facebook group, which is incredible. You guys are so amazing in this group. If you would like to just, even if you don't buy the books and you don't make it to every live stream, I highly suggest that you join this group. I made it for you guys. Like, it doesn't really do much for me. It's for you guys so that you can have more of an interaction week per week on the readings and the homework and whatever else you want to share that's on topic with Witchy Book Club. But we're already to over 130 members and I just made it a little bit ago, and the amount in which you guys are engaging with each other, making friends, going live, talking about your homework, posting pictures of doing the homework and questions that you have about the reading. It's really, really wonderful. So you can just go to www.facebook.com/groups/witchybookclub, and the banner or the profile picture should be my painting up there, that little raven painting, so you'll know you're on the right one when you see that painting. It's been really awesome and it just keeps growing and it's really, really fun. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I want to be really quick and say happy birthday to my best friend from London, Imogen Walters. She turns 30 today and I love and adore her so much. She's such a dear friend of mine and I just am so inspired by her every single day. So I just want to give a little shout out to Imogen and say happy birthday. The third thing is that have you got a birthday coming up, Simon? I need to catch up on your video. Happy birthday, Imogen. Happy birthday. Woohoo! Yeah, right? Yeah, your birthday's either past or just coming up too, so happy birthday to Simon. So The other thing is I want to announce this is the final live stream for Kitchen Table Tarot, which means that this is going to be the final question that you guys will have to answer for the giveaway for a free phone reading from Melissa Cynova, the author of Kitchen Table Tarot. I've had a phone reading by her before and I cried. She's so good. She's so quick with her messages. She just gets right down to the nitty-gritty and she doesn't mess around, and her translation of the messages that are coming across in the cards are so clear. She is so kick-ass. So I really want somebody to win this and just experience what I experienced with her. And I think it's so cool that she offered up a free phone reading for a lucky winner. So if you've missed it thus far, here's how you can win. And you can't win until this goes to playback and I put a question down below. But I think there should be 5 questions total. But I'll explain how I'm going to make this easier for you if you're just now hearing or you think you might have missed a question. So underneath each of the live streams, I say this, underneath each of the proper live streams, because there's been a couple weeks where I've posted a couple minutes and been like, hey, my eyes messed up, let's reschedule. That one doesn't count. So this is every single week that we've had an actual live stream for Witchy Book Club for Kitchen Table Tarot. I've placed a really super fun, easy question and pinned it to the top of the comment section. Things like, what's your favorite card? And, you know, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just to get you guys engaged. So you have to answer all of the questions for each of the live streams and you're entered to win a free phone reading. I will be picking the winner next week live. Extra, if you want to get 5 extra entries, you can share any one of these Witchy Book Club live streams on any social media platform and tag me or let me know that you did so that I can count it for you. And you can get 5 extra entries. You cannot just share a live stream and not answer the questions, though. I won't count it. So you have to do the work like everybody else. And then you have to, if you want to get extra entries, you can share one of the live streams. Now, I'm going to make this super easy for you guys if you're like, what? I'm so confused. So if you're in the Witchy Facebook group, I'm going to make a post later today that is going to have a link to every single one of the live streams that has a question in it. So you can just go down the line, click the live stream link and find the question, answer it if you haven't already, and then I will, you know, add you to the bucket for next week. That's the easiest way I can make it, or you guys just have to figure it out. Okay, let me just make sure I'm saying hi. For the first half of this book, I was like, nah, I don't want a phone reading because I hate talking on the phone, but after the reading of the book, I need it. It is really, really cool. I have never gotten a phone reading from somebody else before. And let me just tell you, she is so good. She is so good. Hi, Whale Song 81. I hope that you're all doing well this morning. Melissa, what up, boo? Melissa is actually here. I was just gushing about you. I don't know when you came in. That was awkward. Okay, I love you. Happy birthday, Imogen. Yes, it's Imogen's birthday. So that is the last time I'm going to announce the giveaway because this is it. This is it. So there's going to be one more question posted in the comment section below this. If you are watching the playback right now and there's no question, it's because I haven't gotten to post it yet. Either it's still processing for me on my end or what the deal is. So be patient or come back or make a reminder to go back or join the Witchy Facebook group and I'll leave all those links for you. Make it super, super, super easy. Is it weird that I'm nervous to get a reading? Like, I don't know what I'll hear and I've never had one done by someone else before. It's not weird. I think even somebody who reads for other people all the time, or even somebody who has had many, many readings for themselves done, there's still like this little bit of nervous, like, okay, what am I not focusing on that I need to be focusing on? What are they going to bring up? Nope, we're not worried because I am not worried because I'm the same. Happy birthday again. Okay, so that's another thing. Let me keep going. Happy new moon in Libra. That's another thing I put down for the list. Really excited about it. Planning on taking a really nice bubble bath for myself with all my herbs and witchy ritual of the new moon bath. I'm searching for Witchy Facebook group and not finding you. Angie and Sam, who are my moderators who are in here right now. Heather, I don't think is in here right now. I didn't see her. Can you guys post a link to the Facebook group? That would be really cool. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Hi, Imogen. Happy birthday. Love you so much. Is it under your name, Samantha? It might come up for my name, but I don't think that it would. You you'll see the painting. You'll see the painting, and it says underneath the moons, it says Witchy Book Club. Okay, let me keep going. Somebody post the link. If you find it in your heart and you want to make a contribution to these live streams, to Witchy Book Club, there's 2 ways that you can do that. And the reason why I'm going to start really saying this in the beginning of every live stream is because it takes a lot of time, okay? I want to make this free for you guys. I've said this before. This means a whole lot to me to have it on a platform that anybody can click on, whether you can, you know, whether you have it in your heart or your pocket to be able to donate towards my time and to keep this going, that's great. Or whether you don't, that's great too. Showing up and contributing or just watching or sharing, joining the Facebook group, that is what makes this worth it for me. But I also have to be realistic and say, like, this is something that's taking a lot of my time. So I'm very passionate about it. And if at any point you feel like you can or want to contribute, there's a super chat option for this live stream. And $1 is cool, $5 is cool, 30 cents is cool, whatever you want to do. But don't feel like you have to. But if you feel like you want to contribute, that would be great. If you're watching the playback, there's a link to a PayPal down below. And that's that. That's pretty much as easy as that. I do not resonate with wanting to, Imogen, it's your birthday. Don't give me money. Okay, let me rephrase that. Everybody but Imogen, give me money. You are adorable and I love you. Love you and everything you bring to us. Imogen, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Also, I love that it comes up in pounds. Thank you so much. You're so dorky. I love you. Okay. The birthday girl just gave me freaking money. Thank you so much for that. I'm in a giving mood, she says. Yes, so that is that. Keeping going with this. Next week, let's talk about the book. You guys are really excited for this fiction book. I'm seeing you post in the Facebook group that y'all are already going ahead and starting to read this. This is our next book. If you haven't heard me announce it 500 times, it is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This is or Novik. Thank you so much, Melissa. And then Melissa donated. Thank you so much, Melissa. You are so sweet. And I really, really adore your book and you and your support along me doing this live stream for your book. So thank you so, so much. This is our next book. You guys picked it. You picked it. You picked the genre, which was witchy fiction or a fiction book now, which I am a little bit nervous for how we're going to be doing these live streams with a fiction book. But I'm really excited because I know that I will come up with good homework. I know that I'll come up with good topics to go on. But this is something we haven't explored before, and I was shocked that you guys wanted to do a fiction book. So if you haven't already heard and you haven't already got it, you do have quite a bit of time to get this book, and I'll explain why. So this is our next book. There's different covers for where you are in the world, or there's a couple different, I think, US covers for this. So if it doesn't look like this, that's okay. Thank you so much, Solaria. I really, really appreciate that. Anything helps, and you are amazing in the Facebook group. She's always going live. She's always sharing her thoughts. She's very engaging. Thank you so much, Andy. I really, really appreciate that. You guys, thank you so much. That is so, so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That makes it so okay, sorry, I'm a little speechless now. Thank you very, very much. It makes this a little easier for me to keep doing so much every single week, but keep it free on a platform that anybody can get the resources about. So this is our next book, right? I'm assigning a hefty reading for you guys because next week we're not starting that. Next week I need a break, but I'm still going to go live. So next week I am going to go live 10 a.m. normal time and do sort of like a Q&A. We're going to go over anything you want to go over. Uprooted is fantastic. Melissa, you've already read it? Really? Ooh. Melissa says Uprooted is fantastic. I've heard really great reviews and then I've heard not so great reviews, but I think I'm going to love it. So I'm really excited. Next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am still going to go live, but we're not going to be going over Uprooted. I need like a week to recharge here. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to announce the winner of the giveaway. We're going to do like a Q&A hangout. We could talk about tarot. We could talk about whatever you want. I'm trying to make it so that Melissa can pop on for even a little bit, but she's got a lot going on right now, you guys. She's got a new book coming out. She's got, you know, family. She's just got a lot going on. So her and I are trying to get together to see if she can still pop on. We were supposed to do this week, but I got bumped back when I had to be there for my friend. So it's kind of throwing things off a little bit, but I still know that I need to give myself that week in between to kind of have like a casual live stream. So here is your reading section for Uprooted, which we will start with the live streams in 2 weeks. Okay, everybody on the same page, pun intended. Okay, I won't tell them, Melissa. Melissa just says, don't tell them that you got a free preview of the new book. I wasn't going to because I'm like so nervous. So Melissa and I have been talking and she sent me the preview of the new book, which I had already pre-ordered. It's coming out in, is it March? Or it's coming out in the spring of 2019. So excited. So excited. I will be like hoping you guys would want to do that book for Witchy Book Club, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah, it is coming out in March. So I get to read it before y'all, and I'm so excited. So, but I'm not telling you that. I'm just, you know, you didn't hear anything. So I'm assigning a hefty reading for you guys from this because we're not going to be starting it for 2 weeks. And a lot of you have already started it and posted in Witchy Book Club. Like, yes, we are going to be starting on October 22nd for this book. Okay. Our reading sections is from chapter 1 through chapter 10. Is that too much? That's like 140 pages. But it's not too much, okay? You guys, you'll have 2 weeks and some of you have already started it. Look at my little Hedwig magnetic bookmark that George got me for our anniversary. So cute. So that's going to be our reading section. It's like 136 pages. There's 435. I'm already on chapter 10. Whoops. If you guys are reading ahead, that's great. No spoilers in the Facebook group, but I don't want to assign more than that for the people who are just now hearing it and just now getting the book. So that's a good weekend of reading. Yeah, for me, it's not that much, but I feel like as far as what I normally assign for you in these weekly live streams, it's quite a bit. Because I normally assign, you know, anywhere from like 40 to 50, maybe 60 pages in certain books. So I'm getting through. We're almost there. It's already almost been 20 minutes. So let me just, I'll re-say this in a Facebook post as well in the group. But next week, 10 chapters. Oh my God, borrowed from the library 2 weeks ago, still collecting dust. You can do it. You can do it, butterfly. You can do it. Next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is just a fun, relaxing Witchy Book Club Q&A. We're going to announce the giveaway of Melissa's free phone reading, and we're hoping to get Melissa to be able to pop on even for a couple minutes so you guys can gush about how amazing she is and ask her any questions that you want. But if not, then we're just going to chill. We're going to hang out because later next Monday at 7 p.m. my time and like the next day in Australia, the beautiful Sheldine from Art by Feeling and I are going to do our first intuitive art hangout live stream collab. So I'm doing 2 live streams in 1 day and I'm really excited about it. She's a new friend that I've made. She's incredible. So that's next Monday. I'm going live twice. I would really love if you guys were there for both, but it's okay if you can't. And so that's next week. The following week, the 22nd of October. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my calendar to make sure I don't F this up. 22nd of October, we're going to be going over Uprooted by Naomi Novik, chapters 1 through 10. All right? Okay. The last little kicker that I have in here is that on October 22nd, I am taking my grandmother for a little procedure. No need to worry, but it's at 8:30 a.m. I'm hoping to have her there and home and everything that we need to still have the live stream at 10 a.m., but I really need you guys to be like flexible with me, and I will announce as soon as I know or as soon as I feel comfortable with what time. So no matter what, I will go live on the 22nd to start Uprooted. I want to commit to that, but I do need to help my grandma, and her procedure thing is at 8:30 in the morning. So I don't know if I'm going to be done by 10 a.m., but I will let you guys know. Whew, is that it? Is that it? Let's go into the homework. Is that it? Anybody have questions? Anything they need to say? Thank you so much again to everyone who just contributed some cash to me doing this every week. I really, really appreciate that. It's not necessary, but it really helps me out and keeps me going to be able to do this on a free platform. Nothing? Okay, great. I'm already sweating. Wonderful. Let me drink some coffee. Okay. So our homework, we went through the last of the minor arcana, got my tea and my homework ready to start. Hi, Victoria Lynn. Hi, Lily. And anybody who might have shuffled in here and I didn't get to say hello. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. You missed a lot of announcements, so you might want to recap when this is over. Is it weird if I hang out? Yeah, you're not welcome here, Melissa. No, I would love if you hung out and told me what I'm getting wrong. No, I love the court cards. We would love to have you here in the chat if you can withstand like a 2.5-hour live stream. Okay, so I have been pulling our homework from Andy Matzner's The Tarot Activity Book, and I have really, really been loving this for what we're doing with in correlation with this book. So our homework from last week, and let me pull out my other little, look at my little Hagrid magnetic bookmark. I had so much with this week's, I had so much fun with this week's homework. Showed me a lot of myself. That's amazing, Angie. That's awesome. You might have posted in the group. What did you pick again? Because I'm getting a little blurry with who picked what cards for themselves. If you missed it, our homework was the strength and weakness. So I wanted you guys to take the 6s through the 10s of the minor arcana, the 6 of swords. Interesting, interesting. And what did you learn of? Oh yes, I do remember you saying that. Hello, I made it. Yes, I love it. I think you meant I made it? I don't know. Hi to you, Rosemary. So it was the strength and weakness card. I want you guys to pick one either intentionally or at random from the 6s through the 10s in the minor arcana, and talk about how that's your greatest strength. Maybe it's something that people are constantly complimenting you on, or something that you really pride in yourself. And then there was a few journal prompts to go with it. And how we're trying to take a look at like the positive and challenging aspects of any of the tarot and any of the traits that we could have. For instance, if we feel like we're a really caring and giving person and that's our greatest strength, how can that sometimes maybe turn into a little bit of a detriment for us? Like maybe we give too much to others before taking care of ourselves, and how we can consciously make a balance and make sure that we're making healthy choices with our energy. And so just to go over it quickly, I did do a live stream in the Facebook group and talked about this quite a bit. So I'm just going to briefly go over it for people who missed it. And anybody else who wants to share their homework at this time, feel free. I picked the 8 of coins from the 6s through the 10s. And I talked a little bit about how hardworking I am, how I'm really wanting to make my craft perfect. You could see how a little bit of that might end up into a challenging energy, but that I'm really, really into honing my craft, to working, to studying, to practicing, to spending time getting things right and making sure that I'm taking the time to get it done. But as kind of a detriment, or maybe like a challenging aspect to this, I have a hard time pushing myself into the next energy, which is the 9 of Pentacles, and kind of owning everything that I've done. Or it's hard for me sometimes to feel like it's ready to jump ship and to do the thing. And it's like I'm just doing the thing, but it's time to put the thing out there and to bravely market myself, whether it's in business, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in job, whatever that is. This is where I kind of played on with the 8 of Pentacles, but I really feel like this, out of the 6s and the 10s, this is one of the cards I really feel like I got in me. I really got in me. And so Victoria Lynn says, my strength and weakness card is the 10 of Wands. Awesome. What did you find out about it, Victoria Lynn? And why did you pick that card? Was it at random? Was it intentional? What's going on with my hair? The funny thing about this card is that I had a love package, little love letter come from Imogen Walters, who I just said was her birthday. And she wrote me like this really cute like letter on stationery, and she picked 2 cards from the Dark Days. I think this is the Dark Days Tarot, which I really want now by just seeing these 2 cards. And she said that she picked the Emperor card, but the 8 of Pentacles flew out for her. And she went into a little bit about how she feels like this is me, and as well as the Emperor. And I had just done the homework where I picked the 8 of Pentacles, and I get a letter from her saying that this flew out and that she feels like this is me. Hi, Samantha. Hi to everybody who's just coming in. It's amazing. Dark Days is one of my top 5. Really, Melissa, because I really hadn't seen too much about it. I really want it now. I can just like, even just the imagery of these 2, I love it. So I thought that that was really interesting that that happened for her after I just had picked out the 8 of Pentacles. So what is else? Oh, hi, Samantha. Did I already say that? I'm waiting to see if Victoria Lynn says anything. Dark Days is gorgeous. Yeah, I really like that. And I thought that it was very synchronistic with how I had just picked that card for myself. So if anybody else wants to share about their homework, feel free to do that. I'm going to keep going. Also, just keep in mind, again, to plug the crap out of this, we do have a Facebook group that a lot of people are sharing their homework throughout the week with that. You can read them sideways as well as reversed and right side up. They're really intuitive and have great diversity and inclusive and are clearly tied to traditional meanings. That sounds exactly what I'm looking for. Now, my grandma, who taught me astrology and tarot and metaphysics and spirit communications and all of that, she solely reads with the Mother Peace Tarot, which is the circular deck. So she reads the tilts in the cards. Not only the reversals, she reads the tilts to the right and to the left. And I did that backwards, but not for you guys, the right and the left. And it's interesting to see her use that as a tool. And I don't have any round decks or even any decks like this that could be used that way. And I've always wanted to dive into that. So I think I'm going to look into getting myself that, or I don't really know, Christmas or something. So the homework, no, I'm not going to assign the homework yet. I'm really excited about our final homework for Kitchen Table Tarot, but let's see if I got everything. Yes. Okay. Victoria Lynn says, it is a strength because I'm good at helping others and taking on a lot, but it can be my weakness because I always forget to put myself first and feel bad if I do so. Did you know that beforehand, or was it kind of like, I'm seeing these things in front of me? Thank you so much for sharing that, Victoria Lynn. I really appreciate that. And I'm so glad that you connected to the homework and that you did it. You guys are awesome. All right, let's get going because we're almost a half an hour into this already. And I feel like I'm about to charge up the court cards. I love the court cards so much. Let me get centered here, you guys. Oh no! So the bookmarks came in a pack of 4, and I have them like in all these different books. So you saw the Hedwig one, you saw the Hagrid one, look at the hairy one. It's so cute. Okay, so we are starting on page 223. Melissa doesn't have as much writing for the court cards as she does for some of the major and the minors. So I pretty much am reading the entire sections of these. So just keep that in mind. I mean, I did highlight things to try and condense, like I'm not going to read all of everything, but as far as the cards go, like I pretty much highlighted the whole rest of this book. Now, again, keep in mind, if you just came in, for people who know the court cards and love the court cards, Ooh, do you want to? I have been unplugged for a while. It's been tough for a bit. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys are still talking. Hi, Simon and Whale Song 81. I can see you guys are talking to each other, and I love that. Ooh, do you want to know why? Why what, Melissa? That you didn't write as much for the court cards? Is that why? What? Why? Just because you wanted people to interpret? I don't know why. I'm glad you're here to set the record straight. So I wrote less on the court cards because they're overcomplicated. That's agreed. Yeah, that's agreed. I get it for sure. And there's so many almost overwhelming ways that you can connect and read and study all of the other cards, but people say that they're reflective of who they are or who the client is, and I wanted to make them super accessible. And I think that you did a really great job. I think you summarized pretty much what you need to know about each of these court cards beautifully. But the only reason why I mentioned it is because I took out a lot of your reading sections from the previous cards to save time, but there isn't as much, so we'll probably get to read almost all of it. But I agree. I think a lot of it can be overcomplicated. If you get the vibe, you can apply all the other histories, etc., to them later while still using them. Yes, and again, I feel like I picked up the court cards for myself and what feels right to me pretty easily because I started from astrology, which is a very archetypal energy association to things. So how dare you? I'm just kidding. I love you. I love you too, Melissa. Okay, so we're on page 223, and this is like her little blurb of the court cards before we actually go into them. It says, the only major difference I see between the pips and the court cards is that the court cards are less subjective. When I see one in a reading, it's either representing the client or a person in the client's life, or representing how people see the client. So we're talking about what people call the court cards, the people cards. These have actual people in them, and there are cards that have actual people in them, but they're like the pages, the knights, the queens, the kings, or if you have other decks that use other, like the mother pieces, like the priestess, the daughter, the son, the the shaman, I mean. And so there's decks that use different terms for their people or their court cards. But this is archetypal energy. This is talking about if it comes up in a reading. I don't want to tell you how to read the cards because that's not my jam. But most of the time, readers will use these as a tool to say, this is you, or this is another person around you, or this is how people see you, or a specific personality trait or energy that you might need more of, or that you might need to hone back on. So we're talking about more so archetypal personality traits or people in general. Like a card could come up and be like, this is your father in the reading. It's a good thing from time to time I was going to, but instead it was on channels. Okay, so I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to like have a focus of what you're talking about, but I'm trying to keep going too. 30 years reading and court cards can still be a struggle. Well, hopefully we can make this easy for you. So that's what she said. Did I read the whole thing or no? When I see it in the room, that's it. Okay, didn't read the whole thing. It's either representing the client or a person in the client's life, or representing how people see the client. That's it. I never ever see them as anything else, which seriously makes them less complicated, which is what Melissa was saying, is that she made it super short and condensed. Like, this is it. This is what she sees this as. Again, you can read the cards however you feel is right, but this is her book that we're going over, and I'm going to stick to that, which is kind of how I see it as well. So starting with, and to break it down, remember we still have 4 elements. We have the earth, we have air, we have water, and we have fire. So we have the pentacles, we have swords, we have cups, and we have wands. I think I said that in the right order. I just said that in. So we still have the 4 elements in each of the court cards, but there's 4 of the court cards that we're going to break down for each of the elements. So there's the page, there's the knight, there's the queen, and there's the king. just like in a regular deck of cards, you have the Jack, Queen, King, and let's just say the Ace, or we can go back, you know what I'm saying, the Joker or something, right? So it's just like that, where we have diamonds and clubs, and all of those represent the same things in here. So we start with the pages. And I've only highlighted a little bit of this so we can get through it. It says, the pages lack direction or discretion on occasion. Follow instincts instead of logic, and have a touch of innocence that usually lets them get out of trouble. These are not bad cards. There's no ill intent. They are victims of misunderstanding, of moving too quickly, and of not having enough life experience to guide them. The pages live in the present, which is an exceptional, albeit a tricky way to live. So I have taken I have taken 3 decks, like I've been doing for these past live streams, to take a look at each of these cards. We're using, as usual, we're using the Rider-Waite Centennial, and then I've pulled from the Fountain again because this deck has like my absolute favorite court card depictions that are a little bit more dreamy, but the colors and the movement and everything really, really are spot on for me. So we're going to be going over the Fountain Tarot with these. And then also I throw in a little kicker here, which I don't know if some people are going to have a problem with. I read this now more as an oracle deck, but I have read it with tarot and I do love it. And it's Colette Baron Reid's The Good Tarot. Her depiction of these like very fantasy, like look, you can see that there's very extreme colors and ways that she depicts the court cards or the people cards. So we'll be looking at all 3 of those decks today. If I remember, I'll try to put that in the description box below if you guys are curious as to the decks. So, oh, I did not section these out right, you guys. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on a second. Oh no, I put them in order of oh shoot. Oh, I'm such a dork. Okay, let me just go through this really quick. No, this is gonna be so much time. I put them in order of the elements or the suits and not like page. Okay, here's all the pages. Dang it, sorry guys. Sorry, the teacher wasn't prepared like she thought she was. Okay, the pages. I did that for all 3 decks too, so bear with me. Here are the pages. I want to reference a series that actually Imogen Walters did on her channel, which some of them are old videos and then some of them are sort of newer. And she breaks down the court cards or the people cards in like the pages are in like a school playground type sense, where she breaks each of these archetypes down as like if you were to run into this as a kid on a playground or in school, what kind of kid would they be? So the reason why we're starting with that energy here as a kid is because this is a very childlike way of using energy. Sometimes this can come across as actual children or people of younger age, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, because if you've ever met an adult that acts like a child, that could be that energy coming through as well. So you want to keep that in mind, that it doesn't have to be actually a literal page energy in a person, but it's that comes across like that. But I really like the way Imogen described these as like the kids in school or the kids on the playground. But it's more so this energy, like Melissa said, of like they are victims of misunderstanding, of moving too quickly, and of not having enough life experience to guide them. The pages live in the present, which is an exceptional, albeit tricky way to live. So think of the way like a child uses its energy. It doesn't go so much in like the future of like, in a month from now, can't wait to do this. It's like, when are we going to grandma's, or when are we doing this? Like they're pretty much always in the present because they don't have the concept of what time outside of that is. So again, we're talking about this in a very childlike way, but this could totally be an adult who has this energy or this mindset as well. But this is like very basic, raw, kind of don't know how to use your energy correctly, but very sweet and naive sometimes with the pages. So let's start with the Page of Pentacles. I cannot believe I didn't do this right. So the Page of Pentacles. Hold on, give me 1 second to like get this spread out so I can find the right cards for you when the time comes. Cannot believe I did that. Okay, we're starting with the Page of Pentacles. I love the court cards so much. So the Page of Pentacles, look at him. He's got his little pentacle in hand. He's looking at them. He's got his little pointy toe. And this is what Melissa says about the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is very thoughtful and introspective and is learning how to be himself. He chooses his friends wisely and finds excellent counsel. He is definitely grounded and is growing up well. This page is just a great, goofy guy. He's physical and takes good care of himself. The energy is light, honest, and really, really genuine. Almost a gosh and golly gee innocence. This innocence can turn against him, though, when it slips into immaturity. Romantic, creative, playful, adorable. And then I think I am going to kind of pull a little bit from the reversals or the inverted, which I know that we didn't go too much into to keep it like as simple as possible. But an inverted or reversal energy can turn into a total space cadet. So can't keep track of things, can't pay attention. The pentacle goes rolling away and this doofus is chasing after it. And I loved the way that she described it. So yeah, this is a very, again, keep in mind we're dealing with the elements of, you know, fire, earth, water, air. And this is earth. So he's really grounded. He's really practical. The things that, let me back up again because I didn't mention this before. So when I say he or she, just know that this is not, it does not have to be he or she. I'm only going to be talking about it as in this card is depicting a male figure. This does not have to be male or female or masculine and feminine. It does have masculine or feminine energies sometimes, but it does not have to be like strictly for what I'm saying for the pronouns or even what you read in books. This is across the board. I know many, many women who take on King of Swords energies or, you know, it just flow with it. There's no boundaries, but she does go into this, and I can't remember when this, you know, when the tarot was created, there was these borders around things, but it's not, you don't have to read it that way, and I don't read it that way. So just keep in mind as we go through. But the Page of Pentacles is someone who's just, I love the pages because I love children, but on the playground or this energy of like she said, golly gee, or gosh, or he's caring and gender is an artificial construct in tarot. You go, Sammy. Thank you. Thank you. But I feel like that's part of the reason, Melissa, why a lot of people get hung up is because, you know, the Queen of Swords will come up in a position where you're like, I feel like we're supposed to be talking about my father, but this is a Queen of Swords. I don't understand what's happening here. And that can hold people back. I love keeping the court cards simple. I struggle with them. Good, Sandy. Hopefully I can do that because I tend to overcomplicate things. And I'm glad Melissa's here because hopefully she will rein me the hell in. So when we're talking, you know what? I think we're going to do the court cards a little bit different. So I normally break them down, but I want to keep them all together. So we're going to read for each of these, and I'm going to show you what they are in the other decks. And then we're going to get through the rest of the pages, and then we'll bring them together and talk about them versus each other because I feel like that might be helpful. So here is the Page of Coins, which is in the Fountain Tarot, and this one shows what looks like a girl. And she's running through the grass. She's really grounded. She's connected with nature and the earth, and she wants to be outside, and she's got her arms wide open. But she has a lot of energy, and I feel like all the pages have a lot of energy. But as far as the Pentacles go, they're the most grounded and the least I see with like that external energy going outward because they're very grounded, they're very practical, tend to be slower moving or a little bit more resistant to change. But when we're talking about the pages, that doesn't really go for it because think of a child. When you put the Page of Pentacles next to like the Page of Wands, which is fire and energy and passion and yes, obviously you'll see the difference between the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands, but if you stick the pages next to like the King and Queen, they're going to be a lot less energetic in my mind. Here's what it looks like in the good tarot. Look at this little sweet little fairy boy. Very earthy. The colors are very, you know, earth tones, grounded. He looks like he could take off on his wings and go into flight mode, but he's pretty secure with where he's at. He seems curious. He seems like he's an adventurer, but he's also not going to fly too far away from maybe a parent or something like that. So here is our page. Can I say a thing? Always. Let's do the court cards together. I would love that. I don't want to interrupt. Please interrupt. Please do. So here's our page of Pentacles. I'm going to wait for Melissa to say what she has to say, but we're going to get through the rest of the pages and then bring them together so we can Melissa, anything? Got her on. Nice to catch you, Sammy. Thanks so much for coming in, Simon. I really appreciated it. I know that you were having another conversation and I didn't get to like focus in, but trying to get through these. So I hope that you have a beautiful day, Simon. Thanks for coming in. While Melissa's typing out what hopefully is not another novel, then I'll keep going and then I'll go back to her comment. So now we're going to do the Page of Swords. Again, we'll come back to it all together. So the Page of Swords, this is our Page of Swords. So again, we're still in this very, this raw, and I do better with these cards structured as family members or other non-traditional setup rather than royal courts, and have begun using them that way with any deck. That's awesome, Miranda, that you can recognize that that's the way that you need to do. And Melissa, I saw your comment. Yes, I will get to it, which is part of the reason why I wanted to like put them all together. So we'll get through the basics of them. We'll put them together and we can kind of like show the difference of them. So we'll just do this one. Melissa says, it's healthy and growing and beautiful. He's got nice clothes. He's so healthy. He has the pentacle barely balanced in his hand, so he's just learning how to do the thing. Yeah, so this sky is super bright and yellow, and when you look at the rest of the pages, they're kind of way different than the Page of Pentacles. So she's telling us to take a look at the actual imagery of the card. He seems really together. As far as like this childlike energy goes, he seems like he's doing the thing and learning the thing and studying the thing and living the thing and doing his best thing, which is what she said. Yay for stat holidays and making Witchy Book Club today. Yay, Renea. He is an apprentice. Pages where the helps for the knights. That's it. No, you can keep talking, Melissa. It's totally fine. I'm just going to be a little scattered when reading your comments as well. But I really want your feedback. You're the author of the book that we're going over. Sounds good to me. So again, the Page of Swords, and we'll put them together and we'll kind of compare and show the differences between them, because I think that's what a lot of people might struggle with. So the Page of Swords, like all of the pages, there's a huge burst of energy that comes with the Page of Swords. But there's very little direction or experience. He is chatty and curious. I wonder who that's reminding you of. He has tons of energy and his ideas are flying around. They aren't investigated, though, or given much consideration. There's a lot of initiative with this page. He's a sharp kid, rimshot. Also, cheesy idioms will help you remember the Page of Page of Swords. Sharp as attack, razor sharp intellect, sharp wit, and looking sharp. Sharp, 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 sharp. So this was me as a child. Let's talk just a little bit about what this would be in a challenging aspect or in a reversal energy. It says, essentially, this kid can't hold on to his sword. He's going to cut someone, likely himself. He needs to remember to think before he speaks, to do his research, to stop gossiping, and to be careful of the pointy bits of his speech. Very clever, sometimes too clever. He's quite sarcastic and can be kind of nasty at times. Well, in these live streams, I feel like I revert a ton back to this energy from my childhood, but this was me as a child. I was at, why? But why? My mom was like, oh my God. But this is definitely like the child or the childlike energy. Again, doesn't have to be an actual child, but this is that energy, that newness of the energy in a raw form of an archetype that's going to be using air. Like Melissa said, look at the background. There's tons of clouds in this background. He looks like he is in more of a movement than the Page of Pentacles, but he's not about movement. If he is, it's very like, I feel like he could be a dancer or have a very specific way to his walk that's like a little bit more walking in a, not a rigid, but like an airy way. This is the child that wants to learn and wants to ask questions in a communication-based way, where this is the learner and the student as well, but this is more in like a, I want to, you know, read the books and help you organize your studio and have all of like the physical material possessions, because we're talking about resources and Pentacles energy. And this is the kid that's like wanting to do the internet thing and wanting to talk about, again, like why, or the kid who raises their hand in class before the teacher's even finished talking, kind of thing. Or the one that would be like, I know the answer, you know, like, let me tell you, I know it, like, calm down, calm down, we haven't finished what we're doing yet. So this is kind of how I see this. This is the child, I feel like, or the energy of, if you were to sit the person down at parent-teacher conferences, or if you were to sit this person down, it's like they're probably an A-B student, maybe even an all-A student, because they're really quick and they're quick learners. They get the information, they're easy to translate it, but they might have not so great feedback on why they can't stop talking to their neighbor. Like the teacher might have moved this child 40 times in class, and they have really great grades, so they don't really have anything too bad to say, but like this child needs to zip it and stop talking to the other children around them while the teacher's trying to give a lesson, if that makes sense. Is that coming across? Is that coming across? Melissa, I feel like you're scared to say things. Please don't. Let me show you what the Page of Swords looks like in the Fountain Tarot. So this is the Page of Swords. Oh, I'm so upset that Page of Air. So this is the Page of Swords in the Fountain Tarot. Love it. So this one's depicted. Can you see that? I love this deck so much. Do you see the sharp diagonal lines going through and behind and in front? This energy to me, but then he's got his sword right through him, right through his brain, right through his, like right in between his ears and his eyes and his mouth and down his throat and his lungs. This is the air energy. It's like the thinking, the listening, the seeing. It's this, all this communication energy right here. And he's depicted kind of as a younger person. That is the Fountain Tarot. This is what it looks like in the Good Tarot. I was the Page of Swords as a child. Okay, I already read Melissa's notes. Here is the Page of Air. This one doesn't really do it for me as much from the Good Tarot, but it is kind of another way to depict, like you can see how these two decks are using this certain color palette to show you like what the Page of Swords translate in color. And it's kind of across the board here. Obviously the Centennial deck is a little bit more vibrant and, blocked in colors. We still do have this like bluish gray, very airy color palette here. So let's keep moving, and then again we'll go on to all the pages together. And then I want to make some associations to things like characters, so keep that in mind. Characters from movies, characters from TV shows, or books or something like that, because those characters end up most of the time having very like one-dimensional archetypes. Do you know what I mean? Especially like Disney characters and stuff, like they don't have too many like they're this and they're also this. It's more so like this character is this. And I'll give you an example with our next card, so keep this in mind. Remember this. Okay, so Melissa says, remember the swords are air. So in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the wind is blowing. In the fairy tarot you're showing, he's feathers like a bird and it's all windy and shit. Good point. Yeah, so it's not my favorite way to depict it, only because this figure looks like a lot older and it's a little harder to translate, but they're open. Like she's saying that there's focus on the card. Focus on the card. Lots of air, arms open. Again, it's in this like vertical type energy here, but the wings are wide open and there's a single feather that's falling that she's like focusing on. Page of Swords is Hermione Granger. That's what I had. Okay, so dang it. Okay, it's hard for me to stay focused because I love the court cards so much. Here's a good example from this card. She was saying that the Page of Swords is Hermione Granger. I totally think that as well. Another one to me is Alice in Wonderland. She's so curious and she's just gonna like, let me go down this rabbit hole because I need to know this information and I'm not thinking about things and I'm really flighty, kind of like, well, whatever, let's just do this. I need to know, curiouser and curiouser. Also me as a child, which is probably why I loved Alice in Wonderland so far. Start thinking of good things to associate for the Page of Pentacles, but we'll go back. I'm so glad I've got the baby asleep just in time to watch you, as the court cards are the cards I've always struggled with the most. I hear that so much, but they're so good. They're so easy once you just can make some associations and break them down. But I understand you're not alone. So we're on the Page of Wands. We'll go back again. To me, a really good way to associate like an energy with this is the association of Simba from Lion King. Okay, so think about Page of Wands as Peter Pan. Peter Pan kind of could be taken a few different ways, but to me, Peter Pan is definitely the Page of Wands, or Simba is perfect for me. Simba is like energy and passion and roar, let's go over here, let's look at the Badlands and I'm gonna be king and I can't wait. And like that to me is very, and he's aggressive and he's all those things. Did somebody just donate? It's like we're psychic. Angie, thank you so much, Angie. You're so sweet and beautiful and such a wonderful help to me as a friend and a moderator. Thank you so much for donating towards this. I love and appreciate you so much. So Page of Wands to me feels very Simba from The Lion King. If you guys have any other associations to Page of Wands for people, I feel like that helps. So this is what Melissa says. It's so weird to say that and she's like in the chat. This is what Melissa says about the Page of Wands. So earnest, this kid. So earnest. Present, childlike, and full of piss and vinegar, as my grandma would say. He's about opportunity, adventure, cue Indiana Jones theme song, and hope. He's an optimist and a poet, a dreamer and an inventor, an artist and a fiery lover. The Page of Wands is confident, it's honest to a fault, is passionate, and will bring you with him. The charisma most often comes across in readings. You believe this guy and get excited about whatever he's about. The salamanders on his cloak speak of the fire element that is present in the wand suit, and his sassy orange breeches might too. The Page of Wands is a novice, an apprentice. He's just gotten his wand and doesn't quite know what to do with it yet. Take that how you want. There is an innocence and a fervor that makes this card very appealing. He's playing for himself. He's going to make mistakes and he's going to stop himself and drop his wand and start over again, but he's moving. He's moving and it's beautiful. Energy. We're talking fire. We're talking passion. We're talking lots and lots of charisma. This is the childlike energy, or an actual child that you can see that you go, okay, let's take a deep breath. Okay, let's center our energy a bit. I know you're really excited and you're like got a lot of energy. And in a challenging aspect, it might be the child that you go, where's the tranquilizer? That's so horrible. But if you've ever met a child that's just so like, yeah, that you're like, let's calm down a bit. But they're excitable, they get you happy, they're playful, they have a great sense of play, as do all of the pages. But this one is a little easier to spot out before you even get a chance to look at the other pages, because this one's the one hanging from one arm bar from the monkey bars, in my mind at least, because they're like the daredevils and all of those things. So let's go back and see what you guys are doing. The word struggle has shown up so often here. Obviously, this helpful discussion is needed. Thanks, Sammy and Melissa. No problem, Miranda. I'm very happy that Melissa's here as well. This is so cool. You're welcome, and I hate that I only have you on in the background since I'm at work, but I'm laughing lots, so that's okay. Good, Angie. That's totally fine, and thank you so much again. Sounds like pay is low from YouTube. I should learn more about that. Some creators make a career from YouTube. Butterfly, you can DM me, and we could talk more about that for sure. I was thinking about maybe doing a video on helping people if they want to get their channel going, or the analytical side of things. but I'm going to keep going for the sake of time here. My 2-year-old son. Yeah. So yeah, we're talking total phallic symbol. Exactly. As well as all of the wands suits go, especially, the Ace of Wands. I saw that you posted a picture when it was like basically just drawing the word penis all over it. But this one is like, hold on, wait. This is so inappropriate, but also kind of totally how I think this is. So, hold on. This book club blows all other book clubs out of the water. How many regular book clubs have the authors at their meetings? This is my favorite thing ever. Thank you, Sam. That's so sweet. And yeah, right. I know this is really cool. So, if you guys ever seen that meme of the elephant and he's like swinging his trunk around in like a circle and like flopping it around, and it says like, if I was a guy for a day, the first thing that I would do, and it's like insinuating that they would just like be like experimenting and flinging around the thing. I feel like that might translate a bit to like the childlike energy to the Page of Wands. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Allegedly. Exactly. That is kind of how I see this card a bit. So let me show you again. We'll go back. We'll talk about more together and how they're different or the same. But let me find the Page of Wands. This is probably my favorite Page of Wands that I have ever seen in a deck. And I don't know specifically why. This gets it for me. So this is like translated with color and movement. It's forward movement, right? So like, look at the difference between the movement in the Page of Swords. Wow, focus. The Page of Swords, there is still movement and there's still things going on, but look at the difference between the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands. This is bright and fiery, an explosion of energy. This is definitely like she's a dancer, she's moving, or she's, you know, the thing. That whole scene from Lion King, like, I just can't wait to be king. Like, and it's loud and it's raw and it's all over the place and he's so confident. That to me is a great way to show off what I feel the Page of Wands is. Page of Fire. So this is how the Page of Fire is shown. Again, not my favorite out of all of the court cards that I'm showing from the Good Tarot, but I'm just trying to give you a different, where did the Page of Wands go? Okay, in the Fountain Tarot, would you say the Page of, oh wait, hold on. It's a person who is in way loud with energy, right? I mean, I read it across that way, yes, especially when it comes to the pages, because it's a little bit less controlled, because they haven't really learned how to hone or use their energy. So yeah, I would say it's the loud child, or it's the one that's like running around all the other ones, or like I said, hanging from one hand from the monkey bars, while like the Page of Pentacles might be like building a little sandcastle in the mud with his hands, or, you know, playing house and finding himself like a wife and dog and someone to play, you know, those types of things. And the Page of Swords might be going around like asking, what's your name? What are you doing? Do you want to be my friend? Let's go do over here. What do you think it would be like if we dropped a bunch of sand from the top of the castle? Let's find out. Like, those are the kind of energies that we're kind of breaking down here. Let's go back and say, would you say that the Page of Wands is one that gets attached to something with a lot of passion, or is it someone who keeps getting excited a lot about things and has a difficult time being constant? Isadora, I would say all the pages are inconsistent. Yeah, that's what I would have said too, Melissa, is that really think of it as like I hate to do this because I don't want you guys to get in a reading and be like, this has to be a child, but it's an easy way to learn it if you think about it is like, you're in a daycare and you have 4 children and they're all very different. How are you going to take a look at these different kids' energy and try and tell them to keep consistent with anything? Even the most consistent of children have a childlike way of just being a child, and like they might have things that they're all derpy, awkward nerds. Exactly. So Melissa, I'm so glad you're here. That card has like a really fast, passionate energy to it. Just by looking at it, you can feel the energy. Starlight Tarot, that's why I really, really love the way that it's depicted, is because even if you don't know tarot or you're not reading it, you can get it from here. They don't know how to use their tools yet. They're going to make mistakes and drop them, but they're kids and you can expect that. Exactly. So in a reading with an older person, if you get the page for them, ask why they're being immature or encourage them to be more playful. That's where it brings it back to, like, in a reading, if you're doing this for yourself, you know, something like that. Or it could be, hey, depending on how the cards fall, great point, Melissa, depending on how the cards fall or what you're reading about, it could be let's take it back to the basics. What would the inner child in you do? What would, like, you have done as a kid? How are you overcomplicating things? How are you being so stuck in the adulting where we need to pull in some of this immature, playful, childlike way of seeing or doing things? That's how the pages can be used. And so let's keep going. And again, we'll come back. But I see the Page of Wands in this, like, Lion King, Simba from Lion King energy. Page of Pentacles. I'm trying to think what would be a good Page of Pentacles. We definitely talked about Alice in Wonderland for the Page of Swords. And then now let's go into the Cups. And if anyone comes up with a good Page of Pentacles, we'll bring it back. So the Page of Cups. Look at his sassy little outfit. Lots of water in the background. This one has kind of a gray, moody sky. No clouds. But the Page of Wands and the Page of Air has both blue backgrounds, and then the Page of Pentacles has this bright yellow. But now we got this kind of like, oh, you know, it's clear skies, but it's kind of almost rainy. Maybe it's gonna rain. Wow, this is so helpful. Thank you everyone for helping clear this all up. Yay, good job, Victoria. I'm so glad that this is making it easier to understand. Love the way you liked Alice and the Page of Swords. Yeah, curiouser and curiouser. Yes, exactly. So good, I'm glad. Page of Cups. Let's see what Melissa has to say about the Page of Cups. Oh, Neville Longbottom. Yeah, we could just totally, like, when I asked Imogen and my friend Skylar to help me come up with associations for the card, all we could do was talk about Harry Potter. So yeah, think about, yes, no, not the Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles. I would say the Page of Pentacles, yeah. So think about, if you know Harry Potter, which if you don't, leave. No. Page of Pentacles, like, Neville Longbottom's really into herbology. He's a very, like, stable, kind of like golly gee, gosh kind of kid, like super nice and sweet and reliable, but also, you know, maybe a little nervous and timid about certain things. But when they do stand up, standing up. In my Harry Potter deck that I made in my brain, totally feet on the ground and tries his best. Yeah, think about this as Neville Longbottom pulling the mandrake out of the soil. You know what I mean? He's studying, he's a student, he wants to be a teacher someday, and, you know, stuff like that. He's really into, like, learning and studying the earth, and he's just got this, like, golly gee gosh kind of guy that you could probably easily take advantage of, but you maybe don't want to just because he's so nice. And so the Page of Cups, good example for the Page of Pentacles. This page is a bit of a dandy in most decks, with big floofy hats and scarves. In the Llewellyn deck, which is what she has, you know, it's just got a look. His hair is flowing in the wind and his outfit is just darling. The ocean behind him is smooth and inviting. He's got a little smile on his face and is giving the fish in his cup a bit of a side eye. Usually when a fish pops out of my cup, I'm a bit put out, but this guy loves surprises. He's the card of art and inspiration, of love, lust, and passion. If you can apply those feelings to anything in your life, that's the Page of Cups. Yeah, so this guy is super emotional, but this might be like, if we're talking again, like on a daycare level or like a childlike way, like what would the Page of Cups be doing on the playground? This one would be the one that's, like, in my mind, maybe trying to, like, go console the kid who, no, This would be the one that may have fallen down and like cried a bit too long or a little too hard. Like, might have been the one that had a hard time leaving mom. Like really emotional, really connected, very sensitive, maybe concerning themselves with how the other kids are feeling, or maybe just so into their own feelings. They're very imaginative and playful. They might be getting along with the Page of Pentacles playing house and kind of trying to like imagine these certain things for them. They might be drawing with the chalk on the side of the school or something, or they might be out doing very, very imaginative, emotional things. Anybody chime in here? I would think that this person would take things more personally. Like if I were to be in a class type setting or a teacher, and I was trying to like tell each of these pages what's going on. Here's the directions. This one might need a little bit of like more of a, it's okay, you can do it, you know, like this is how it is. They're just a little bit more sensitive, but they care. They really understand the way that a lot of the other kids are feeling. But sometimes as a page energy and as a childlike energy, it's hard for them to kind of like get that together. Yeah, I would say this is the most, yeah, I would say that this is probably the most insecure out of all of the Page of Cups, but they're so raw with their emotions. They're so like open and giving and fluid with their energy. Yeah, this is a good Pisces energy. There's, you know, you can associate pretty much any of these for like the same elements through astrology, which is why I loved the core cards so much, is because if you take the air energies of Gemini, hello, you know, Gemini, and you can link those to the same things and break them down that way. The Page of Cups inverted. Romeo and Juliet, not a love story, kids. This is a story about two people who loved so hard that everyone died. They ignored pragmatism, family ties, and common sense, and they dragged the poor friar into it too. So yeah, that's another thing to pull on. This is probably the kid that's like, do you want to be my girlfriend? Great. And all they want to do is talk and love and be around their girlfriend or their boyfriend or whatever may have you. They're very love and arts and feelings centered. I love the pages so much. Same. Immature, emotional trait, reactive. Yeah, so Ron Weasley is the Page of Cups. Yeah, I would say Ron Weasley is definitely the Page of Cups. I'm trying to, like, for later, this is the Harry Potter mashup that I wrote. Oh, okay, cool. I kind of see, yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think of anything else, because Ron is one of those characters that I feel like might go to one or two cards. But yeah, it's kind of resonating here that the Page of Cups is Ron Weasley. He's just such like a, oh, she looked at me, or like, I had to talk to a girl, and you know, except it won't let me share a link. I think this is Seamus Finnegan. Wait, hold on, what? I would have said lavender brown for sure. To me, lavender brown has a bit, not to say that you're wrong, Sam, but lavender brown has a bit too much gumption and too much like, this is what's happening, you're gonna be my boyfriend, and that to be Page of Cups, like, yeah, she is very like, oh, love, but she has way too much like go out and get in her to be fully, to me, the Page of Cups. She has love inspired, but she has such a sharp, what did you say to me kind of thing, that I feel like, yeah, bring her energy a bit back into maybe like some air or wands. Yeah, okay, lavender, maybe the Page of Cups inverted. Yes, okay, we can, yes, let's do that. Luna Lovegood, very dreamy, very mystical, very kind of in her own space. Yes, that's good. Sorry for anyone who's not into Harry Potter and who is missing all these. If you guys want to try and make other references to other movies, great. But this is where I live very well and comfortable, is talking about Harry Potter. True, Ron's obsession with Fleur is pretty Page of Cups. Yeah, so if we're gonna connect Ron to this, think about the way that he was when he had to ask any of the girls to the dances. Like, he's all thinking about girls and loving girls and obsessed with that, but he's like shy and emotional and sensitive. Moaning Myrtle, I feel strongly applies. Yeah, but more in a challenging aspect. She's so emotional. I love that you guys are on the Harry Potter train here. Okay, so here together is our pages, right? So if we were to break these down again, looking at the different energies and how they all have their elements in their hands, but you want to break down how they're looking in the background, what they're wearing, how their stance is. Look at how much more confident the Page of Wands looks than, say, the Page of Cups. He's a little bit more casual or laid back, or his stance and his footing is a little bit different. Yeah, Melissa says, look at the way that they're holding their tools. These are all things to help you when in a reading, when trying to break it down. If you see a court card come up in a reading and you go, shit, I don't know, who did we link this to again? Which one was Alice in Wonderland? Like, who did we say was Luna Lovegood? If we do that and you can't, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Break it down. Note that the pages are very new with their energy. They're learning how to use it. It's a very raw and a very, I don't want to use the word intense because I wouldn't call I wouldn't call any of these super intense, but they're just a lot. Think of it as the children running around on the playground. Again, so if you get, like Melissa said, if you get one of these cards in a reading for somebody and it doesn't come across as somebody else in their reading, you might say, how can we be a little bit more adult about this? Or why are we being immature? Or, why are we letting our inner kid guide us when we need to kind of have our roots in place for what we know as an adult, or opposite energy here? Okay, so just take it back to the beginning and look at their tools, look at the background, look at their stance. Think about the element that's involved here. When we're thinking about swords, we're talking about communication and intellect, and what kid in class is, or what kind of childlike energy is going to be like, me, I know. So that's kind of, Hermione starts out as Page of Swords, but grows into King of Swords by the end of the series. That's a good thing to talk about. Yeah, and I also feel like she kind of gets a little bit more wandsy to me. That's a word I just made up. The Page of Swords isn't even looking at his tool, which to me is like Page sees the inner abilities to be his biggest tool rather than the sword itself. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Look at that. Yeah, they all grow over the series, which is, hopefully that happens in a book or anything like that. But that's why sometimes it's easy to break down like characters in Disney movies and stuff, because even though they grow, they tend to be very like one-dimensional energies. But that is such a good thing to say, Sam, is that he's not even looking at his sword. He's like, I know, I got the answer. I'll figure it out. It's fine. Like, it's cool. And then he turns around and cuts his friend with his sword because he's not paying attention to what he's doing. So yeah, just take a look and break them down in that way. But these are the pages, and I love and adore them so much. Any other questions or any other things that we want to connect to them before we go? You know what a good thing for me to kind of put together with the Page of Pentacles? You guys remember Gus from Cinderella? That like, oh golly. Oh, and this is kind of making this seem a little bit more dopey than I want it to be, but I'm glad that we did like the Neville Longbottom. The Neville Longbottom is more of like a practical way to associate this type of energy. But if we want to get a little bit more Disney character and break down in like an extreme version of this, that's Gus to me. Is like, he's sweet, he's helpful, he's, reliable, but he's a bit dopey and like maybe not be able to get his stuff together yet. But he will. When he grows up into the big mouse that he can be, and the adult mouse that we know he can be, he's going to be there, and he's going to be a good family man. He's going to have his stuff together, hopefully. And yeah, so that's another one that came to me. All right, shall we move on? We can do this. We can do this. We're on the Knights now. So let me pull out the Knights. King, Queen, Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords, Knight of Cups, and Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so we go like this. Sorry guys, I organized these cards wrong. And in this deck, it's called the Messengers. Messenger, which I actually really like. Messenger of Earth, Air, fire, water. And then we have the Knight, the Knight, the Knight, and the Knight. Okay, we're ready to go. Ready to go. Melissa says overall about the Knights. Guys, ask me a question while she's sorting. Yeah, feel free to talk with Melissa at any point. Dang, she's fast. So many great ideas. I'm much clearer with the pages now. Awesome. Great. I'm so glad because I love the core cards. Did I say that? Did I say that? But feel free to ask Melissa any questions that you want while I'm blabbering if you don't want to listen to what I'm saying too. So the Knights. This is what Melissa says. And I've just highlighted part of this out. The Knights struggled to balance the impulse of the pages with the endurance and the sobriety of the kings. So now we're moving our way through, we went to the pages and now we've grown up a bit and we're in a different energy and we're into the Knights. As a result, they often lose their balance. I think that because of this balancing act, the Knights aren't as consistent with their focus as they could be, at least not for long. I've often called the Knights the frat boys of the tarot. These guys are hyper-focused or super excited, but rarely both at the same time. Love that, love that, love that. Imogen Walters, again, I'm going to plug back to her because this really helps. She did a series and she did one of the series is more recent. She comes back, or maybe it was the longer one. If I remember, I'll link them below because they're really well done. And she breaks them down like we are, but she talks also of them as like the frat boys or, you know, the college boys. So now, again, we're not just talking about boys, but in the Rider-Waite-Smith or when we started, this is very like, this is all done with males. But this is not just males. This is just the energy that it's coming across here. But think of us now, we're moving up in the world. We're not in the daycare anymore. We're not in like the elementary school energy. We're moving up now to maybe the high school through college, depending on where you're at here. But so now we're in, again, like the frat boys, like this is the kind of energy where it's like they're a young adult and maybe considered an adult, but they haven't been adulting for long enough to know what adulting is, if that makes sense. They still have like the resources of mom and dad or whatever. They haven't had enough adulting to really be considered the adult. The dude bros. Yeah, these are the dude bros, the frat boys, the young but not child, like they're moving, they're going, they have things that they want to do. They're all depicted on horseback, which is going to say a lot for movement. It's movement, it's a transition, it's things are happening. Our energy is a little bit more direct on some of them, but there's movement. Except for then we have this little like standstill Knight of Pentacles, but we'll get to that. So let me go back and just make sure I'm not missing anything. I find that without intense RMS study, other decks just don't make sense. I'm always making mental references to original deck to fill in the missing info on newer knockoffs. Yeah, and that's why I think a lot of people recommend getting a Rider-Waite deck, even if you don't connect to the imagery or if it's harder for you to read, because a lot of them are so based off of this is the beginning kind of thing. I do understand that. Love your book, Melissa. Oh, yay. Dude bros, the 17 to 30-year-olds, testosterone dudes. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. I would say more so for me, like the 13 to 30-year-olds. Maybe that's just because I have a about to be 14-year-old and a 15, about to be 16-year-old in the house, and I see them as very Knight energy, especially the boy, which I will get to. I'm really excited about. So, okay, let's start. Let's go in here. And we're going to start with the Knight of Pentacles. Da, 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 da. The Knight of Pentacles. Oh gosh, he's so adorable. So he is on a horseback, and this is what, well, all of them are, but here's what Melissa says about the Knight of Pentacles. This knight isn't kinetic as the others. He's a bit shy and feels a bit awkward. He feels the best when he's at home. He's smart, thoughtful, and grounded, but not the most engaging person in the world. Grounded, reliable, has to live honorably. He keeps a stiff upper lip and all that. His eyes straight ahead. His horse has all 4 feet on the ground and is a big stocky thing too. This guy isn't afraid of hard work and he's very considerate and thoughtful. He can be so grounded though that it's hard to motivate him or get him to change direction. Even his horse looks bored with all 4 feet on the ground. So yeah, well, let me just see. I highlighted a bit of the inverted, the reversal, or maybe some challenging aspects to this. He's he likes a person but doesn't get off his butt to talk to them. Jealousy brews. He wants his life to be different, but again, won't take the action to change it. He's moody and petty and brooding as hell. What a powder. So that would be more of like the challenging or reversal energies. Not all reversals are challenging, but let's just bring it back. So this is the Page of Pentacles. This is what the Knight of Pentacles. This is what the Knight of Pentacles looks like in the Fountain Tarot, which is a little different. We don't see any horseback here. We still have this same breakdown of like the way that the figure is holding the coin. Although this one, again, you can, what Melissa said about he likes to be in his house. He's very homey. He's very stable. He's probably had the same job for a really long time, or if he's in a job, he doesn't want to change his job, even though it's not what he wants to do. It's good. He's secure. He's comfortable there. He's going to do what he needs to do until he can get out. And, you know, he's not going to be moving from job to job. He's going to get there. He's moving. He is moving. He's on horseback, but it might take him a long effing time to get there. But he's stable. He's reliable. He's, you know, comfortable. Okay, you guys are really, really boring as a box of hair. Same with me, Melissa. I love when others read for me. Thanks, Melissa. Do you have any tips for people that only have themselves for reading? Okay, I'm going to try and fish out the comments to keep going here. I'm sweating. When I read for myself, I usually end up being like, yeah, I guess, and then get mad at my cards for answering my questions. When it comes to, okay, so the Knight of Pentacles, he is, again, reliable, he's slow, he's motivated, like he has a direction, you guys. He's looking forward. He's pure in his intention, but it just is like, I know I'll get there. I'll just get there when I need to get there. Let's take the longer route because it's better scenery, or let's take the longer route because the other one is kind of dangerous and like we don't want to why would we cross the river when we can just take extra time and go around? Let's do it right. You know, let's really make sure we're prepared. Let's do all of those things. So trying to come up with, let's see if there's someone that we can associate for the Knight of Pentacles. Here is what they call Messenger of Pentacles. This is one of my favorite cards of all time. I love her. I want to be friends with her. She looks so cool. She looks very determined on where she goes. She has a little bit more of, she has a little bit more energy in her, or movement energy, but she is focused. She is really looking at where she's going. She looks like she's taking a break, and that maybe she takes a lot of breaks in her walking or her hike, but she'll get there. She just has such an earthy, grounded vibe when I look at her in this card. So here is our three together. Very different color palettes here. She's totally union. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, Virgo energy or any of the earth elements. This is very Taurus to me. This is very, you know, just breaking it down on those types of things for sure. Look at the greens here though. I really, really like this depiction of the knight, even though he's not on horseback and there's not a lot of movement. For me, this is the least of the movement from the knights. He's in his house, and the movement within the Knight of Pentacles might be more so like, I'm designing my room, or I'm building or fixing something in my house. Like there's movement, there's action, but it's not the same. Gosh, it's hard for me to keep up with your guys' comments. So if I missed something, or you want me to go over something and you're not just talking to Melissa, which I think is awesome, write it in caps or write it again, please. So now we're going to do, and we'll come back again, think about someone that you can associate for the Knight of Pentacles. So we are going to move into the Knight of Swords now. Now look at this guy. Look at the clouds. There's clouds in here. The clouds versus the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords. I mean, they're long, they're jagged, they're moving to the same direction. They're showing that he's like, da-da, I have my sword and I'm going, I'm moving. Very, very action. The horse's legs are stretched out like he's in really fast movement. Look at the difference here, y'all. Bum, 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 bum. And then we have da 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 da. Like very different energies, but still movement, still movement. So if we're breaking this down as like, here's the frat boys or whatever, it's like, yeah, man, we can hang out, but like, why don't you come to my place? Because I just really don't feel like going out. I don't feel like doing anything. I really need to do like the dishes, but then like, I probably won't. Let's just come in, watch some TV, play some video games, and like order a pizza, have a few beers, do the thing. Like we'll hang out, we'll have fun, but like, don't really care about going to a rager. Where this guy is like, let's go to a debate. Let's do board games. Let's have a game night. Let's go to trivia night. Let's go, have a few beers, but let's go out and do something that's going to stimulate us mentally, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, the horse's feet aren't even touching the ground. Exactly, Melissa. The Knight of Swords card has definitely been stalking me lately. Oh, Samantha, interesting, interesting. Do you see how K of P is facing left and the K of Swords is facing right? Yes, so if they were going to be in a battle, depending on what it is, so do you see how, okay, well, I have a mental block when it comes to the gender and sexual orientation meanings of court cards. The courts are all males except for queens. They are now seen as interchangeable. Do you think they are? Yes, that's why I mentioned before, Butterfly, is that even though, like, think about when this deck was created or when tarot was created, like we didn't have this, like there was borders on things, like there was borders and there was gender stereotypes. Like if you were a male, you were on horseback, and if you were a female, you really weren't on horseback, or if you were, you had your legs to the side and you still had your corset and dress on and you were following some sort of male. So obviously there is difference in the changing of the times, but just even then, there is, like, think of Joan of Arc. Think of Joan of Arc. Like, even back then, there was still hard for these gender stereotypes to kind of come across as having to be one thing, because we're not. And that's why sometimes finding a deck that's more diverse or more fluid with whoever and how, I really like the Fountain Tarot for the court cards. They have a lot of diversity. They have a lot of different ways to depict things, a lot of different genders. So yes, I understand your challenge with that. It's something I think a lot of people struggle with, but hopefully we can kind of make it a little bit more understandable. Melissa says, absolutely interchangeable. Gender is non-binary, and the gender in tarot is antiquated and traditional. Pentacles is reflecting on the past. Swords is charging towards the future. That's also great. Yeah, the different time frames in which they sit. Yeah, Knight of Swords has no... It's come and gone. He thought it, he said it, and it's over with. Let's talk about the next thing. Let's learn about the next thing. Let's go and do this thing. And the Page of Pentacles is like, slow down, man. Like, we just started talking about, like, let's reflect on, like, how we were brought up as a family, and, like, let's talk about how we can better ourselves that way. Melissa, I agree. I'm a girl, but I always come up as a male. Same. We still talk about them as gender specific. We do, but only because for the sake of me using Rider Waite, that's what we're going over. But if I were to be teaching you and learning from a different deck, that's why I want to show you these other decks. So here's the Knight of Swords in, this is the Knight of Swords in the Fountain Tarot. Ooh, I love this so much. So Pentacles is Hufflepuff, total stoner. Exactly. Yeah, totally Hufflepuff to me. And you could see how I was already still kind of like, come on, man. Like, let's just order a pizza and chill, smoke a joint, like play some video games. Like, we're still doing something. We're still hanging out, but let's just be comfortable in our sweatpants and our slippers and do our thing. And not to say that they're not smart or they're not going to do things. It's just a different energy. So relating the Knight of Pentacles is even harder now. Relating to the Knight of Pentacles. Yes, true. But it's the language thing. Just like the French gender tables were used to it. Exactly. So here is the Knight of Swords. Again, you can see he is, look at like his trail of energy. You can't even see where he ends because he's just in total movement and total learning mode. This is the person or the energy of someone who is going to be like into communication. Like this would be someone who is wanting to be the debaters or the learners. Like I said, game nights, trivia nights, all these things. Look at this depiction though. This is a little different. I really think this is such a beautiful card, but this is the messenger of the air. We see again, feathers, this blue, this cloudy, this airy, this very like, this is a little bit more dreamy for me, but it still has this quality to it that's like mouth forward, communication forward. We're moving with this part here. Does that make sense? No? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, who can we relate to the Knight of Swords? I feel like the Knight of Swords is Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. Maybe more of who's the one that married the really high pitchy voiced one? I can't remember. I don't really watch that show a whole bit because I feel like Sheldon is kind of an interesting character. But the one that's like, you think it's totally Sheldon? Okay. Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, the Cheshire Cat's kind of a shit. And he is like, oh, what way do you want to go? I don't know. Well, then it doesn't really matter which way you go. Just go one way. I feel like that one's a bit confusing too. I'd like to find one that's like really on the money here. Yeah, I can see it being Sheldon. Yeah, exactly. But Sheldon has sort of this, he kind of takes on a little bit of the qualities of the Pentacles for me though, because he has his place to sit. He has his thing, like his way or the highway. He's very comfortable in what he does. So I feel like he could be a combination between these two. And the one that stands out a little bit more for me as being sort of like the Knight of Swords is the one character in that show that married like the blonde, the little high and the you know what I'm talking about? He's much more like fast-paced, thinner energy of like learning and going. Sheldon has autistic tendencies. Yes, I did know that and I heard that. Howard, thank you, Melissa. Howard, yes. Howard, to me, from Big Bang Theory, has very Knight of Swords energy. Bernadette's husband, yes, thank you. Howard, to me, is very Knight of Swords. He does have, like, see, when we get into, like, older, it gets more complex, right? It's harder to pinpoint things, which is why, again, it's easier to kind of go for, like, Disney characters and stuff because they seem to be more one-dimensional than characters from shows and stuff like that. But here is the Knight of Swords. Okay, I'm rambling. Let's keep going. We can come back and we can keep, if you guys think of anyone else to associate to those, and we'll look at them all again at the end and compare. Buzz Lightyear! Great one, Melissa. Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond. Moving and going and learning and what is this thing? Who is this? Lisa Simpson? I love that too. Yes. So good. Stewie, maybe from Family Guy, maybe. Yes, Loud. She's my favorite. Yes. And so keep in mind too, when we're connecting these sorts of characters, like think of who we were talking about for the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is like Hermione. I kind of see Hermione too as the Knight of Swords. She's kind of this in between, right? She's kind of like the bird from Lion King. Zazu is so Knight of Swords for sure. Brainy Smurf. Okay, you guys, you got it. This is great stuff. So very intellectual, very communicative. There is feeling there, but it's only based off of like the facts and what we're doing and what we're learning. Wonderful. Good job. So let's go. I want to keep in mind too that they're like the smart asses. Yeah. Ravenclaw. I am a Ravenclaw. Just so you know, I'm a Ravenclaw. If you didn't get that. But yeah, so I definitely feel like, oh, that's the Pentacles. I definitely feel like if the Pentacles was Hufflepuff, we have Ravenclaw as the swords. And we'll get there. Doc from Dwarves. Yes. He seems a little bit, he's a bit more, we're getting into like the king king and queen energies, but yeah, you're still on the same suit for me. I'm not making you wrong or anything, but for me, Doc is definitely swords energy. Maybe a little pentacles too. Ravenclaw for life. Yes, Melissa. Okay. So the Knight of Swords. I didn't even read about the Knight of Swords. God, I'm a mess. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I love the court cards. So antsy and on the go, always in his head, always moving and challenging himself and others. The horse's hooves aren't touching the ground. This guy is the opposite of the Knight of Pentacles. Sword high in the air, armor under his flashy robe. I swear, it's the tarot equivalent of come at me, bro. There is much intellect here, but not so much forethought. He will ride his horse or run his mouth until he smacks right into a wall without ever noticing how close the wall is getting to his face. You really do want this dude on your side, though. My friend John said that sometimes you meet people who are so arrogant that you can tell they've never been punched when they deserved it. A good shot in the face will help anyone regain a bit of humility and remember that they're not always the smartest person in the room. I think that I love the way that that's described, but there's also, to me, a little bit blending of like the Knight of Wands. So I feel like both of these people, this archetype, need to be punched in the face a bit. But the difference is the Knight of Swords for me has never been punched in the face. And they've gotten away with like being the best and knowing that they're the best or being so intelligent that whatever they say is better. They're very argumentative in a challenging aspect. Whereas the Page of Wands has probably been punched in the face before. And they still just are as arrogant and like gonna do what they want to do and flirt with who they want to flirt with. So that brings us into the Page of Wands. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the Page of Wands. So look at him holding his wand again. He's a little bit more sure of himself, but also I'm not sure if that was the best way when your horse is rearing to hold that wand. I feel like he's looking at his wand instead of paying attention to where he's going, if that makes sense. If you can see and zoom in on it, he's literally like, his horse is this way, and he's like, how's my wand? Is my wand okay? Or am I gonna drop my wand? Is it going good? I think it's good. I got my wand. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And yes, Melissa, now we would be associating, in my mind, to Gryffindor. Very bold, very courageous, very confident, kind of showboaty, kind of arrogant, but can back it up for the most part. The athletic, the more aggressive. No, Harry, go ahead and chase the most evil wizard of all time. Great idea. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now we're saying, when I was asking Imogen and Skylar, Imogen said that this to her comes across as like Moana from Moana. Wow, hold on. Let me blow out this candle because it is really intense. My room smells beautiful of pumpkin nutmeg pie, though. Harry from Harry Potter. Yes, I would say definitely Harry. I almost feel like Harry has a bit of caution to him, though. There's like moments where he is total Knight of Wands, but then there's moments to me where he can be a bit cupsy and a bit brooding and a bit like emotional and moody. Like the 5th book, y'all, Harry is not to me the Page of Wands at all. You know what I'm saying? Bit of a chicken shit. Yeah. So let's read what she says about you guys. Okay, in my book it says, I love this guy. Everyone loves this guy. He's confident. He has some swagger. And I literally put, I don't. I don't love this character. I don't love this energy. But that's just me. I'm a swordsy energy. And so I combat with energy like this a bit. She says he's constantly on the go and always seems to have time for everyone. He's kind, compassionate, and engaging. This card is about being bulletproof. The best time for people to attack us is when we don't like ourselves. The Knight of Wands loves himself, and the only part of him that is exposed is his face. It's a small bit of vulnerability in an otherwise resilient person. It's also interesting because the Knight is traditionally handsome and a wee bit vain. His horse isn't only on the go, it's rearing back. and seems completely impatient. This card is a reading, speaks to confidence and growth. It's about moving forward, even if you're unsure of the outcome. Charming, confident, and daring. A fierce friend and passionate, even when the passion can get him in trouble. He's strong and smart and makes things happen. He's unpredictable, enthusiastic, and very much like a bear on the loose. He wants, he takes. See, I don't really jive very well with that energy, but I know a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of people. I grew up with a lot of this kind of energy. And I feel like in a male sense, and this is not me being trying to be offensive, but I've seen this a lot where if like men have a hard time growing up into adult type energy, it's because I feel like they get stuck in this more than any of the other Knight energy. It's because they want to stay and feel that Knight of Wands energy. If y'all is feeling what I'm saying, he's unpredictable, enthusiastic. Sometimes someone takes something of his, he goes to get it. The Knight is raring to go, and his friends are with him all the way. Some of them may get trampled in a few minutes, but it wasn't on purpose, and to be fair, the Knight wouldn't notice for a while anyways. So, yeah. They aren't given the emotional tools like women are, sad but true. They have to suck it up, and it comes out in wand swinging kind of ways. Yeah, or like, this would be the frat boy that's like, dude, let's go to the bar and pick up chicks. Let's do this. Let's go to like do some arm wrestling. Like, yeah, like chug a beer. Like, this is the most frat boy out of all the frat boys to me. He's very flirtatious. He's very charming though. It's not just like, he's not a horrible person. I'm not trying to make him out to be a horrible person, but this is that like, let's see who can chug the most beers. Yes, Gaston and Beauty and the Beast. That is obviously like more of a challenging aspect, but that is really good. The dudes on Jersey Shore. Exactly. Those, I guess, is kind of given a bad rap to the Knight of Wands, but to me, that's kind of how it comes across. And some people, cabs here, the cabs here. Gym, tan, laundry, like, let's go out and party, let's go out and drink, let's all be friends. Yeah, invite your friend, we'll all be there. And then it ends up being like a big mosh pit of like guys like swinging and hitting each other in the face and all these, dude, sorry man, just get in my face, don't get in your face, like swinging, like not knowing how to do it, swinging their swords around, really concentrated on their wand and how much attention it's getting, very wand focused, if you get what I'm putting down there. Very active, very athletic, very body physical, but like in an energy way, where this is like body physical and like, let's chill, let's be comfortable, let's do the thing. And this is like, yeah, let's do the thing, very physical. The athletes, Eddie Vedder in the 90s, who has grown into the King of Wands. Yeah, this is so great. Hate I have to leave now. I'll catch the rest live later. Thank you, everyone, and blessings. Bye, Miranda. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's take a look at what the Knight of Wands looks like in here. This Knight of Wands, ooh, he is interesting. We can see that the color palettes still are really quite the same. But we have this really pure, stark white background. And I like that coming across because there's not a whole lot of depth for me with this card. There's not a whole lot of ill intent. And if it is ill intent within this character archetype, it's very in your face. This is not, and most of the wands to me is. The wands energy, especially from the pages to the knights, is like, if it's ill intent, it's like, dude, we're coming to your house, we're gonna fight about it, and it's gonna be over with. Like, there's no hiding, there's no secrets. It's just very in your face, very loud, very fiery, passionate. They're also super creative. They're super energetic and inspiring. I love the Jersey Shore so much. These guys are very bro energy and raise vibrations. They get people motivated. They pull people up. Yeah, they can easily get their Knight of Pentacle friends to come out and have a good time and like do something that they wouldn't normally do. But also the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles might have a harder time to kind of like, dominate and bring down the Knight of Wands, but they might be able to convince them to have like a house party at their house instead of going out and having a kegger at the frat house and going and doing all of the things and bar hopping and all of that. Again, keep in mind, this isn't just male energy. It's just an easier way for us to break this down and make it more relatable. This could totally go for girls, okay? This could totally go for that. It's just easiest to break it down this way. So keep that in mind. Who in our mind do we think is a good Knight of Wands? I'm sorry, there's a lot. I'm trying to keep on focus here. Messenger of Fire. So here is, again, see, look at, now we're seeing this in a girl. She looks like Nicole Kidman to me, which I don't see Nicole Kidman as total Knight of Wands energy, but this would be someone who is like, to me, very confident with their body. So a girl that's like, let's go out, let's do this, like, let's have fun, but very confident in themselves. Both male, female, non-gender, whatever you are, this energy, this archetype is very confident, very showboaty, very athletic, very like into their physical form. Emma Watson. I don't see Emma Watson as much as the Knight of Wands. If you do, that's okay, but I don't see her as too much of a Knight of Wands. Ellen DeGeneres. Again, I don't know if I see Ellen DeGeneres as that, but I love that you're coming up. Differences between Page and Knight of Wands, they both seem uncontrollable. Yes, but there's a bit more direction here with the Knights than the Pages. Like the Pages are just experiencing this energy and they're like, well, I don't know what to do with it. It's just so raw and genuine and new. Whereas the Knights, I still feel like are living in that energy and they have sort of like a want or need or drive. They still just aren't as well at controlling it. Let's keep going and let's finish the Knights up with the Knight of Cups. So the Knights, and we can come back to who we feel is the Knight of Wands. I still don't feel like we totally got it. Remember, when we did the Page of Wands, we talked about Simba from The Lion King. So for me, this comes across kind of Johnny Bravo. Maybe there. Clary from Mortal Instruments. I don't know that series, so I'm gonna say sure. Maybe Johnny Bravo. Maybe trying to think. If you think of any, and I'll read it in the comments, but let's go on to the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. Oh, the Knight of Cups. Whereas I have a hard time with the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Cups, I love the Knight of Cups. He sits in the quad, jeans, a white t-shirt, a worn copy of Von Gogh dangling limply from his hands as he stares out into the distance. He smokes, of course, and his dark hair is tousled and curly. He says hi to you as you pass, but his smile doesn't reach his eyes. He looks sad, and his sadness is on your mind for the rest of your life. Dear heavens, does this one make an impact? He's so romantic, I can't even stand it. Love, love, love Melissa's writing about the Knight of Cups. This, to me, there's no other depiction other than Romeo, and particularly Leonardo DiCaprio from the Claire Danes version from like, what, the 2000s? Think of that scene with Leonardo sitting on like the carousel in the Abandoned, and he's like smoking a cigarette and his hair is like kind of greasy, but it's like over his face, and he's reading and he's poetry and he's like taking a long drag, but he's like so dedicated to his love and the arts and feeling, and he's feeling natured. Literally the only person I can see right now is Zach Baggins? I don't know who that is either. I'm sorry. Hey, girl. Yeah, Melissa, what's up? So this is where I'm feeling from Ghost Adventures. Gosh, I don't really know that either, but I feel like you'd probably be right, Sam, with whatever you're saying. So, so this for the Knight of Cups. Let's see if she wrote any. I don't know if she wrote anything else. Okay, so the inverted is moody, very moody, suddenly thrilled, and then just as quickly listening to emo music and wondering why no one understands him. This is one of my favorite cards because this to me right now is basically my stepson, or my boyfriend's son, who is about to be turning 14 this week. And he has his girlfriend, and it's like, he's very, very sensitive and emotional, but like it's hard to get in there. But when you get in there, it's like he's such he's such a little Romeo. He's such a little, like, feelings natured. He is, you know, so kind and sweet. And he's a hard lover. He's just like, I just want to talk about my girlfriend, and I want to, like, he's very sensitive, and I hope this doesn't embarrass him, but he is so the Knight of Cups right now to me. And he's in that, like, range too of actual years of life where I feel like he fits in here. Again, keep in mind, this could totally be an 80-year-old, or this could totally be a 4-year-old, but it's a little bit harder for those borders. Like, he fits very Knight of Cups energy. Kurt Cobain vibes. Yeah, so a lot of the Cups energy is like the musicians or the poets. The rock stars kind of has a little bit more of Wands energies to me. Robert Smith from The Cure, Brendan Urie, yeah, all boyfriend for Riley, the Inside and Out. Riley, I die for you. I die for you. Let's talk about my girlfriend. Let's ask me, like, the other day. This is so embarrassing. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, AJ. Yeah, I was talking to AJ about his girlfriend, and then, like, it kind of got silent. We talked about something else, and he literally was like, ask me more questions about my girlfriend. I was like, you little Knight of Cups. Cute. Okay, let's talk about your girlfriend, you know? My godson is only a year old, but he's totally Knight of Cups. He was eating some really ripe watermelon. He was apparently so good that he just had a huge tears rolling down his cheeks while he was eating it. That's so adorable. Yes, Knight of Cups, Michael Jackson, Knight in shining armor. That's what I meant when I said MJ. Yes, I got it for sure. Very feelings, very emotional. Okay, here's the Knight of Cups. I like this way of depicting it too, because here we see a little bit more of, like, the metaphysical side, the spiritual side. The cups are very feeling, so they can get definitely invested in sitting and meditating, introspection, writing poetry, diving deep into the subconscious and the feelings and all those things. So in this, you see the vertical of almost like rain or waterfall, or sitting on the edge of a waterfall. This moody kind of gray color, definitely more angsty than the rest of them. Like, they're going to sit and they're going to pout, or they're going to sit in the room like, oh, my life is so hard. Like, it's gray, but he almost looks like a ghost, because that's probably how he feels. He's so angsty. And then here is the Messenger of Water in the Good Tarot. Look at how, like, oh gosh, she's, like, kind of frowning, but she's communicating with the animals, very, like, emotional, watery vibes. There is this kind of, like, moody feeling to the Knight of Cups, though. We all got it. We got it. We're good. Let's keep it going. We're almost 2 hours in here, and we're only halfway through, but I think it's getting easier to sum it up now that we have a good idea. So the Knight of Cups, who and what character do we feel is the Knight of Cups? Other than Romeo, I said Romeo, and especially that Leo. Oh my God, I had such Leo from Romeo and Juliet. If you can just think of that one scene, if you've seen that movie where he's just, like, slouched over, he's like writing, and a cigarette, his hair, it's just like, oh, like the James Dean even, you know who this is to me? Jack from Titanic again. Yeah. Danny from Greece. Yeah. Danny from Greece. So good. So good. Okay. Let's move on. We'll go and oh no, that was all the knights. Okay. Recapping, going back real quickly. Question. So with the other houses taken care of, are the cups supposed to be Slytherin? Because that feels weird to me for some reason. I would love to see the connection. He probably has herpes. Who does? The Knight of Cups? Melissa, you're so funny. I always felt like Hugh Grant characters tend to be Knight of Cups. Yes, Knight of Cups. I feel like Slytherin is definitely Cups. Now, it's hard because really we don't see a lot of Slytherin other than, like, the like Draco Malfoy, or yes, Scorpio. Scorpio. So there is water signs, right, in astrology. And if you guys were with us through our astrology series, this might make more sense. Think of the difference between Pisces energy and the emotional qualities with how Pisces deals with things versus Scorpio. And Scorpio comes across a lot more Slytherin to me. They might have this hard exterior and this closed off, like Draco Malfoy type, easy to explain archetype, but underneath, trust me, I'm dating a Scorpio. They're super sappy, super sensitive, very, very emotional. And when they don't get what they want, or they don't get their way, or it doesn't happen the way they want it to, they are so brooding and so like, oh, my life. What does it even mean? Why does it even matter? It doesn't even matter. So I feel like, again, keep in mind, we're talking about a fictional, very, very intense archetype breaking down of houses of Harry Potter. I would say that that it is very very cups to me. It's so true. Emily gets so moody when she doesn't get her way. Claw, and I don't mean that in a mean way. Again, I love my boyfriend so much. It's something I didn't understand about that. Oh, so like Draco's tortured side, that makes more sense to me. Okay, thank you. Think about it, and again, I guess this is spoilers, but think about it in the end, when Draco is forced to try and kill somebody. I won't say who. He's forced to kill somebody, right? And that torn with like, he's gonna do it. He can do it. It's fine. This is what needs to happen. But then when you see him when you see him behind and you see him, he like cries and he breaks down and he lets like, I can't do it. This is too hard. He can't make me do that. Like, you know, the Knight of Wands probably wouldn't do it as much as the Page of Cups does. Does that make sense? Oh, my life is so hard. You don't understand me. You don't get me. That whole yeah. Okay. Good, good. So yeah, Draco's kid's name is Scorpius. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Okay, cool. I do get that. Let's keep going, you guys. I think we're doing okay here. Sweating. Let me get some water. Okay. Stay hydrated, y'all. Okay. Let me pull out the kings and queens now. Here is where it gets a bit hard, I think, for people, because we're into adulting, right? We're into the adulting. But now we have the king and queen, whereas it goes queen, then king, excuse me, in the traditional Rider Waite. But I feel like nowadays, it's still a bit more king over queen. We're working on it. But it's harder to see the progression, because I feel like for us now, we have the king and queens, and we're talking more so about now breaking it down between using these energies in a feminine way and a masculine way. And I don't mean male and female. I mean the yin and the yang. I mean the sit and attract versus the go out and get. But these are both secure, mature in their ways. They're adulting and how they deal with these energies in different senses. Does that make sense? Different senses. Does that make sense? Okay. I want to say thank you to Sammy and Melissa. I've learned so much more today. Yay! I can hear someone's home. I'm thinking that it's George. So let's see. Let me break it up. Let me just give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me get these. Oh, I forgot to show you the Page of Cups. Sorry, this is what the Page of Cups looks like in the Fountain Tarot. Anyways, moving on. Queen, king, queen, king, queen, king. And then let me get them out. Here's the Page of Air. Here's the queen, queen, king, queen, king, king. Oh, I forgot to show you the Page of Water in here too. Here's the Page of Water. Sorry. Queen, king. Okay. So we will be starting with the queen. But just keep this and think of this on more of the lines of the feminine energy. So we're breaking down all of these elements, but these are the more of the feminine ways of dealing with energy. I talk about feminine energy being more horizontal, more fluid, This is the sit and attract. Like, I will get what I want, but it will come to me type of yin energy. And then when we get to the kings, it's more vertical, it's more secure, it's not going anywhere, and it is how it is. And even in the more fluid of the kings, it's very stable. This is what I want, this is how I want it, and this is how it goes. And we're talking more so about, and if I will go out and make it happen, I can't sit back and wait for it to happen. That type of yin yang energy. It gets a little tricky when we go to different suits though. So the queens. Melissa says, the queens are exempt from man's psychic apparatus because they are exempt from masculinity, or what has historically been perceived as masculine. In the tarot, historically and generally, we follow gender binaries. Yay! Okay, this is where I remember her bringing this up. With this in mind, regard queens as the mothers of the deck. The hard and the soft, forgiving and the punishing. They are everything. So yeah, think of this as the mothers and the fathers. Okay, so they're both adult parenting figures, but we're talking about two different types of energy coming across as parenting. And you can totally have a father that is the Queen of Swords. You can totally have, you know, a mother that is the King of Pentacles. So keep that in mind. But we're talking about, yeah, goddess energy for sure. Okay. So the Queen of Pentacles is the one that we're going to start with. Here she is. Da, 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 da. The Queen of Pentacles. Can we see her? Is she focused? I'll put her in front of my face. Mother does take care of everyone, even if taking care of them means isolating them for a while. She does what she can with what she has. I always expect that the Queen of Pentacles is about to slip out of her throne and sit in the grass. She's the quintessential earth mother and is a lovely, warm spirit. She is wealthy, either spiritually or financially, or both. She's nurturing, kind, and a bit strict. She puts us in touch with honesty, home, memories, and family. This card to me is the closest to the Empress card. Now, obviously, we're talking about goddess, we're talking about feminine, the divine feminine. So all of these queens can kind of be linked back to the major arcana card, the Empress, and all of the kings can kind of be related back to the Emperor energy because we're talking about the divine masculine in archetypal energies. But this one to me is the closest related to the Empress card. She's earthly, she's grounded, she's got Venus vibes, she's got all of the, you know, earth and all that stuff. Demeter, yes. Okay, Melissa agrees, yes. Oh, I am the King of Swords, by the way. Oh, cool, Melissa. I'm totally I'm the Queen of Swords, but I'm also a bit Pentacles-y. Anyways, we can get into that because that's kind of part of our homework. So the Queen of Pentacles, let's take a look at her in the Fountain Tarot alongside here so we can see. Oh, I love this Queen of Pentacles. I so love this Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is, again, the mother, the nurturer. She could be the businesswoman, but she is going to be the businesswoman that's going to do it her way. She's very nurturing, and she's in charge. She's very stable energy. She's the mother that I feel like all she needs to do is kind of look at you and you know, like, okay, okay. That's also kind of the Queen of Swords to me though. So maybe I'm blending that a bit. The Queen of Pentacles to me is my mom. I talked about this being the Emperor, like my actual mother. My mother was very stubborn, but she had a very nurturing, earthy, hands-on. Again, when we're talking about earth, we're very physical with our hands, like crafting, gardening, very like cooking, anything that's going to be making and crafting with our hands. Very hands-on mother, but also kind of slow moving. Probably doesn't want to go out and do too many things outside of the house. Again, remember how this is like consistent through the whole vibes of things. So if they're moving, if they're doing anything, it's going to be more so family oriented or home oriented or stuff that's going to be job oriented. The resources, the stable, the secure, the comfortable. This mother would probably be one that I would connect more with having like maybe a high school sweetheart and being with that person for a really, really, really long time. Feel like this energy would have a difficult time with divorce or starting over again because it's changed. They don't really like change. They might even be raising their children in the same house that they grew up in, kind of thing, that like comfortable, motherly. And you guys get what I'm going down. Queen of Earth is like Ron Weasley's mother. Yes, I totally see that. Definitely. There is times in the book, in the story, where she gets really Gryffindor wandsy to me, where it's like, don't you get my daughter. But that's also, don't mess with the Mother of Pentacles. Don't mess with the Queen of Pentacles, man. Think of what we described Taurus as and put that in a mother energy. So you might be, you know, maybe she's watching and parenting her child on the playground going, it's okay. Yes, I know they kicked you. You'll be fine. Deal with it. Get up, brush it off. You'll be okay. But if this child keeps kicking and kicking and kicking her child, or this mother keeps telling her child what to do, she might let them try and figure it out their own. She'll be slow to act, slow to move. But once she gets going, once that bull sees red, it is very hard to stop this mother. It is very hard to get her to calm down and come back to reality. She is just seeing red. Where is the Queen of Pentacles? Look at this. You know the lady in the neighborhood who babysat every kid in the neighborhood and always had cookies? Yes! Love that, Melissa. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, bye, Butterfly. I know these live streams are super long, but I want to make sure I'm explaining the tarot well, so I hope that you enjoy this, and if you want, you can come back and watch the rest. Look at this Queen of Earth. So to me, a good character of the Queen of Earth, this reminds me of the mother from, remember, you guys know Avatar, when they're in, it's the mother of the clan or the tribe, and she comes out and she's like in charge and she takes care of everybody and she's like confident, but she's earthy and grounded and she knows no one's gonna mess with her family. Maybe that's coming across a bit too harsh, but that would be like a very earthy Queen of Pentacles. But yeah, she's the one that's going to be in the neighborhood making all the cookies. Gotta go. We'll try to be back soon. Okay, Melissa, I understand. Again, you were here for so long. Thank you for all your input. I hope you can come back. I'm trying to get, you both explain it so well. Love this. Good. I'm so glad. I think that Miss Weasley is a great representation of the Queen of Earth, and I really love this card. Love it, love it, love it. Yes, yes, that's her name. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce most things. But do you see this green, this lush, how she's in her body, she's feeling herself. She might not be the most athletic, or she might not be the most, stereotypical body of everybody, but she owns it and she lives it and she's confident still and she's secure in herself. She is what she is. Okay. Let's go on now to the Queen of Swords. And boy, do I know Queen of Swords. Okay. This is an energy that I definitely ignore that I have in myself, but that when it comes out, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. I totally am the Queen of Swords. And it happened a lot recently when dealing with certain issues. I'm like, nope. That's not going to happen. This is how I feel. This is what you're going to do. This is the right thing, blah, 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 blah. Let's take the emotions out of it and just make the decisions. So take a look at her stance on the card. She's sitting, she's seated. She's like, oh, come here. I'll listen to you. Come on down. Judge Judy, y'all. Judge Judy, Queen of Swords. You go to her for answers. You go to her to make decisions, but you're also probably scared of shit of her. So she's like, come on down. Let me hear what your problem is from the village. But also take a look at how sharp my sword is. It's right in your face. She's got it straight up and down. You know she's going to cut through your bullshit. This is the Queen of Swords in the Fountain Tarot. This to me is, here we go. Look at this Ice Queen. Now, I feel like the Queen of Swords gets a bad rap. Out of all the queens, she's the least liked. And I can see why, because there's not as much feelings involved. It's very logical. It's very intellectual. It's very cut to the chase. But to me, in situations, I don't want to naturally gravitate to this, but when I see nobody else is in this energy, it comes out. All the females, I have very strong females in my family. My grandmother on My grandmother on my mom's side is a Queen of Swords. My mom is very Queen of Swords and Queen of Pentacles. I am very Queen of Swords. So let's read what this is about. She just doesn't give a damn about your motivations or what happens to you because of your actions. She's a big picture kind of gal, and she cuts away all the emotion and feeling to get to the point. She's incredibly smart. She's freaky, Mensa level, intimidating, smart, and she really doesn't have time or patience to mess around with you. She is stern, fair, and has very sharp tongue. She can be intimidating, but once she's on your side, it's as if you have an army behind you. She's strong, independent, and forthright, a complete badass. I feel like I tuck this away in myself because of how the word bitch is associated with this card. But sometimes with all this cups energy, with all this pentacles energy, and sometimes the erratic energy of the wands, where it's all about them, you need some swords energy. You need some Queen of Swords energy to be like, no, here's how it goes. You said this, you did this, you're going to go here, and you're going to go here because this is what's right. Let's take a look at the facts. Cut the crap, cut the emotions. This is what's going to happen. This is how it is, and move on, right? You know I'm right. Here's all the facts. Here's the information you've given me, and here's the decisions I've made, and don't try and argue with me about it because it's not going to happen. That sort of energy here, super smart, super able to give you the answers you need, maybe just not in the kindest way. So let me show you what the Queen of Air looks like. Okay, she's got more of a friendly face, but look at this wise crone with her owl, which is associated a lot with wisdom and knowledge. Again, Harry Potter reference to Hedwig here. Love it, love it. Oh my God, you just described me. So the Mother of Swords in the Wild Unknown is such a piercing gaze. It can be unsettling if you don't have just as strong conviction. Exactly. If you're coming in with a very Page of Cups energy, having a mother with a Queen of Swords might be a little difficult for you because you're really sensitive and you don't understand that she means well. She's just telling you like it is. There's no, it is what it is. Here's the facts. Here's what we're working with. Here's the decision that's being made. And I feel like I stepped into this Queen of Swords energy a lot with dealing with my friend and how emotional and trying this was. And everybody was, you know, I'm not going to get too far into it, but everybody was there for her emotionally. But I stepped up as the Queen of Swords to be like, here's what's going to happen. You know, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This needs to happen. Let's work on this. And I was very like making decisions on behalf of a very emotional, trying situation that happened. And she knows me and understands that within me. If we were just newly fresh friends, she'd probably be like, get this girl away from me. She's so rude. I don't get it. Why is she doing this? But my friend recognized that she needed somebody there to come in and step in as this Queen of Swords. Let's be logical. What are we going to do from here? Break it down step by step. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go now and we can come back. Trying to think of Queen of Swords energy to me to like bring it to somebody that you know. Judge Judy, Penny from Big Bang Theory. I don't know why I'm bringing such Big Bang Theory energy here because I don't even really watch that show. Yes, she's emotional based. Yes, she's in love with Sheldon and all these things, but she's very like, she will tell you how it is. This is how it is. Trying to think of, it's hard to come up with characters associated to the Queen of Swords that don't end up being horrible. That's what I was thinking. Monica from Friends. Yes. Monica from Friends. She does have she has a lot of Pentacles energy with me, but yes, Queen of Swords, Monica from Friends. Here's how it is. Here's how it goes. Here's how I like it. This is what's going to happen and you're going to listen to me. Very Monica from Friends, also extra points for Friends reference. In a challenging aspect of the Queen of Swords, I would say like the Ice Queen from Narnia, because someone who's that smart is very good at manipulating people or communicating them into doing what they want. So those types of characters, any type of Tilda Swinton, is that her name? any type of character I see typically her play is like challenging aspects of Queen of Swords. And the Ice Queen, cold, emotionless, making the decisions, knowing how to manipulate the little boy and give him the sweets that he wants so that she can get what she needs. She's very, does that make sense? Okay, I spent a little too much time on the Queen of Swords, but that's okay. Queen of Wands. Da 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 da. Fierce, fierce, fierce. What did my voice just do? Fierce. Look at her. She is. Now, let's take a look at these other queens, right? So, the Queen of Pentacles is looking down at her lap. She's very rooted. She's grounded. She's in this present moment. The Queen of Swords is in the present moment, but she's kind of like, come on, see what you got. Tell me your case. State your case. Judge Judy. Like, come on, bring it forth. And the Queen of Wands is the only one, because here's the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Wands is facing towards you because she's confident. She's got it in towards you, even though she's looking to the left or looking to the right, depending on what you're seeing it. But you have her straight on, right? So this is the Queen of Wands to Melissa. The Queen of Wands is funny and charming, grounded and calm. I have a bit of a clash of that energy, and I put no. So Melissa describes this as grounded and calm, where I do feel like out of all of the wand suits, this is more grounded and calm than the rest of the wands, but this still to me has a fiery passion that is seeping through no matter what this energy does. She's friendly and welcoming, and I find that she comes up in people with a great sense of humor. I agree. She has lots of energy, confident, and serves up lots of opportunities to laugh your ass off. Till you laugh until you're crying and your eyes open wide and the lessons you've learned. I see a lot of the Fool in her. That openness and trust that everything is going to be okay. She might not know what okay is going to look like, but she has faith. Don't be thinking she's a pushover though. If you mess around, she will ever so gently club you with her pretty wand. Wands are about fire and action, and she won't suffer fools silently. Do you know these women who can look at you, raise an eyebrow, and instantly make you question every decision you've made in the last 20 minutes? That's her. She's not going to shame you, but she's not going to let you act like an ass. She wants you to see the hard truth so she can lend you her strength and lead you through the tough times. So I have a really good association for this in my mind, in my humble, not so humble opinion. She has a black cat, intuition. Yeah, so she's got a little black cat down here. To me, this, especially with the way that this card is drawn, this is Tyra Banks from America's Next Top Model. So she's confident, she's fierce, she's energetic, she's got a groundedness to her. I will give Melissa that for sure. It is grounded and calm, but there's, as soon as she starts talking, or as soon as it's about her, it's like, we're talking about me, and I'm confident, and I'm telling you how to smize and how to do your thing and how to be ambitious and how to go out and get what you want. To me, this is the most external out of all the queens. The more push, the most drive, the most go and get. And for me, this intensity, this fierceness, this confident, this powerhouse is kind of like the Beyonce when she's on stage. This is like, for me, the Tyra Banks. Think of her sitting and critiquing or being at the photo shoots if you watched America's Next Top Model or any of the top models, and like Tyra Banks, you know, that energy of like, she comes to the shoot and she's like, that's not good enough. You're not being good enough. I know you can do better. Let's see. Are you practicing in the mirror? Are you doing the things? What else did I put down for, yeah, like the Beyonce, Joe from Super Nanny. I think if we're thinking about the same person, I would consider Joe more of a Queen of Swords, maybe mixed with the Queen of Wands, but I'm not really familiar with that show, so I can't say yes or no. Wait, was that Melissa, the author of the book, in the chat? Yes, Debbie, it was. She had to leave. She might be back, but yes, that was Melissa Cynova from the book. Yes. Okay, thank you. So here is the Queen of Wands. I like this because she looks like more of a dancer. Remember again that we're talking a lot of action and movement within the wand suits. So this is going to be someone that's really athletic or able to move their, oh my God, cool. Debbie, that's so sweet. You're so cute. So I like that this still has this bright yellow, bright white light, and it's coming across very intense, but it's a little bit more grounded than the rest of the wands. We don't see too much reds, too much yellows. I kind of wish there was a little bit more in this card, but she's confident, she's within herself, she's open, she could be a great teacher, maybe just intense, a little bit of an intense teacher. So you better be ready for that Zumba class. This is no beginner class. This is like high intensity, like we're going to be doing it. Mary Poppins. Again, I kind of see Mary Poppins as Queen of Swords. That was one of the ones I was going to say, because she is no bullshit. She's cut into the chase. There's really no emotions with Mary Poppins. It's just, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing. Take your medicine. Type of thing. I'm trying to think of a good Queen of Wands other than like Tyra Banks or, I mean, Beyonce, when she's in her like, so I'll stop. Here's the Queen of Fire. I like this. This comes a little bit, again, kind of Queen of Swordsy for me with the eye, and I think I've, the grandmother from Moana, trying to think. The grandmother from Moana is Pentacles to me all the way, or cups mixed with Pentacles. Again, this doesn't mean you're wrong. If you associate it with that, great. But if you're asking me, I don't see her as fire yet. Let's think of somebody who's like confident and action-based, or fierce and energetic, but in a more mature sense. I'm trying to think. It'll come to me, but to me, just like the Tyra Banks, the Beyoncés. If I could think of a Disney character, I will, but I can't right now. Okay, so we went over Queen of Swords. Now we're on Queen of Cups. I'm trying to keep this going because we're already 2.5 hours into this. So the last of the queens, we're talking about the Queen of Cups, the mother from Mary Poppins. Yeah, that I would see more of her as of Queen of Wands. I think her voice throws me off a little bit because she's so sweet and she's so I don't know. Simba's mom to me is Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Think about what I talked about with the Queen of Pentacles watching the children on the playground. Like, all right, that's enough. She's not going to get up right away and go to the child. She's going to let them make sure she's doing it. And think about that scene in The Lion King where they're bathing Simba and Nala, and they're trying to go out, and they're all like wanting to go, and she's like, take your bath first. All right, let's settle down. Like, you can do it. But when she needs to, she is aggressive. But she's much more Pentacles vibe to me. You guys keep suggesting it's okay. It's okay. You can do it. Yeah, Simba's girlfriend. Yeah, that would be, yes. But like when she's older. So Nala, when she, in like later in the movie, when she finds Simba and they come together, she's totally Queen of Wands to me. We're talking about Queen of Cups now, but yes, we got there. Nala, I think, again, no one's wrong or right, but this is just how if I were to describe it, I would say Nala later in the movie when she's grown up is very Queen of Wands. So Queen of Cups. Again, we're looking sideways. We're looking at our cup. We're really, really close to the water's edge. The Queen of Cups only has a toe in the water. She's so close to the water. The emotion surrounds her, but she doesn't descend into it or drench herself in other people's emotion. She's often psychic, she's empathetic and kind. She isn't insecure or shallow. She is deep and calm and a soothing balm to all who need her assistance. In the most basic depths, her cup is covered. Not only is she not going to spill her emotions, but she's not going to share them easily either. She will stop to carry a turtle across the road, and she will give a kind word to the sad faces she passes. She will put her heart where her mouth is. Let me show you what the Queen of Cups looks like. Look at this. And here she is in the water and it's very steamy or foggy or cloudy. Snow White. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I would definitely say Snow White is definitely Queen of Cups for sure. For sure. Here is the Queen of Water. Love it. She is, with her eyes closed like that, she is feeling. She's feeling. She's calm. She is focused, but she is emotional, if that makes sense. I need another drink of water. Hold on. And then we'll think about some other people. Snow White, totally Queen of Cups to me. What did I write anybody for the Queen of Cups in my book? No, I was trying to come up with some. If we're sticking to Harry Potter, if Lily, Harry's mom, was still alive, or in the parts where they showed her, she has very Queen of Cups energy to me. Let's see. Fairy Godmother. Yes and no. I feel like Fairy Godmother is a good thing to... Fairy Godmother might be a little bit more Queen of Wands to me. Literally Queen of Wands, but also very High Priestess energy when we're talking about the majors. But yes, I would say like Lily from Harry Potter, that like cupsy energy. That's it. I'll think of some more if it comes to me, but I would say someone that's really very sweet, very caring, maybe more so I would say Cups would be like maybe celebrities or something that would be like animal activists or into like child's like stuff with children and emotional connections with that. Like I see Ellen DeGeneres as more of a Queen of Cups to me, even though she's very sharp wit and very funny. She kind of gets all of those queens because she is queen. She's amazing. But I think because she's like vegan, she's very giving, she's caring, she really wants to bring people on her show that she sees an emotional connection to, like kids that she finds are very sweet or very talented. She cares a whole ton. Again, with the vegan thing, like you don't have to be Cups energy to be vegan, but I feel like a lot of that compassion, that like caring for other things outside of themselves. Thumbelina's mom, cute, yes. Again, I kind of pull Thumbelina's mom into a Pentacles vibe, but yes, the scenes that I would say Queen of Pentacles mixed with Queen of Cups is Thumbelina's mom. And the reason why it gets harder is because the more that we get into adult, the more dimension and the more things that we have, which is why it's easier to, yeah, Miss Weasley is, yeah, we went over that for sure. She's definitely Queen of Pentacles. Good thing to bring up there. Dumbo's mother, don't hate me for this, but I didn't ever watch Dumbo, so I can't really tell you if that's, I agree with that or not. So, that is our queens. Those are our queens, you guys. Queens, queens, queens. So again, to wrap up, we have Queen of Pentacles, very Miss Weasley, very nurturing, caring. They're all nurturing and caring, but this one is a bit more like, let me bake cookies. Come on, have your kids over and we'll rent a movie and everyone can watch. Remember, thinking back to what we said about the other Pentacles, whereas like the Knight before the Queen is the one that's going to be like, come on to my place, we'll chill, smoke a joint, we'll play some video games, we'll order a pizza, and that way we can drink some beers but all still be in our sweatpants. Think about that as the mother too. She's typically the one that's going to be hosting Thanksgiving dinner for everybody or Christmas dinner. You're not going to find her wanting or being more comfortable with going to somebody else's house. She's the one that's going to have you over and she's going to be the hostess. She's going to be the one, the Monica of Friends. And then we have the Queen of Swords, which is very like Judge Judy or very super, super smart, super straight to the point, not as much emotions behind this. She does care. It's just she's going to tell you what she thinks without putting that. Oh man, I felt my age using Thumbelina as a reference. Same. I loved Thumbelina. An Italian hostess, Queen of Pentacles, exactly. So Queen of Wands, very fierce, very talented, very powerful, very fierce, knows their worth, knows their self-confidence and their body. They can direct. And then Queen of Cups, we're talking about emotional connection, very intuitive, so my grandmother on my dad's side is very Queen of Cups. She's extremely emotional, and she'll be the first to tell you. She will cry at the drop of a hat, although she really, really is so empathic and can connect to people spiritually. The veil is thinner for her than other people because she just is so fluid in her emotions. Now we final with the Kings. Okay, we can do this, Sam. Rein it back in, pun intended. So now we have the Kings. Again, when the deck was first created, there was definitely a hierarchy of like king above the queen. And we still do see some of that energy, unfortunately. Here, it is much different today than it was back then. So again, we're thinking about the fathers versus the mothers, the yang versus the yin, the go out and get versus the sit and attract. This is the decision makers. This is the grounded top energy. We finalize and we settle within the king. The kings are the realization of the goals of the rest of the court. The kings pull us forward and sit us down. They're the caretakers and the wave makers. They are solid and reliable and trustworthy. The kings are the grown-up version of the rest of the suit. Very important to think of it that way. They are the grown-up version of the rest of the suit. Excuse me. The needle doesn't even wiggle. There is no gray, only black and white. So the kings can be kind of difficult to deal with. There is no imagination that isn't backed up by hard facts. You don't go halfway ever. So these are really easier to understand because, like she said, it's not gray, it's very black or white. But then in a dealing sense and in like living your life, if you're not in the black and you're in the white, it's very difficult because the kings are like, no, 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 it's black. And you're like, okay, but it could also be white. And the kings are like, no, it's black. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So that's with any of these kings, even the ones that are more fluid or emotional based. Who do we start with? We start with our King of Pentacles. Love me a King of Pentacles. Here's our King of Pentacles. Look at all the colors, but all the earthy colors. We have all these plants and vines, and he's like in a robe covered in grapevines. He's very pleased with himself. He's very stern though, and he's got his armor on underneath. Mufasa, that's what I have. Really, really great reference is Mufasa. There is no better King of Pentacles to me to describe in a movie or a character other than Mufasa. He is the king of the Pride Lands. This is how it is. Here's my land. Here's what I'm ruling. Here's the rules. It doesn't change. I can become the King of Wands if I want, but this is King of Pentacles to me. And this is what Melissa says about it. This king is a bit conservative. He's grounded, centered, and unquestionably in charge. He doesn't need to shout or wave his arms around to get attention. He pretty much just has to enter a room because he's an intense presence. He has very strong worth ethic and is easy to respect. He is strong and quiet and hard to forget. There's a cool thing about the suit of Pentacles. They're about being grounded. You can imagine the pentacle being on the ground and helping you align with your surroundings, being one with the land. The King of Pentacles is respected and loved by his people and family. My papa, my dear papa, was the epitome of the King of Pentacles. And I'm going to show you what it looks like in the Fountain Tarot. And it's totally, it kind of looks like him. It has things of him. This is somebody who, like, even if they don't have a ton of money, they're very good with their finances. They have a structure in how they pay the bills. They're confident in the way that they buy things or their way of things, but they can get very They can be quite materialistic. They could be the hoarders. They especially all of the Pentacle suit, because they're very attached to resources and material things. My papa was a banker. Okay, so that's where he comes in with money and resources. Is that was his career, that was his life. King of Pentacles. This is the King of Pentacles. Look at him. This kind of looks like my papa, you guys. Like, kind of looks like him. My grandpa was a bit more tan and like bigger, very Italian looking, but do you see this character? He's sitting in an armchair. My grandpa had his armchair. That was his chair. That's where he was all the time, or he was at the head of the table at the end, stable, secure. You didn't have to question whether my grandpa was in the room, because his energy was so grounded and solid and stable that you just knew he was there or he wasn't. It's different when it's talking about like the Knight of Wands, like, you know, they're there because they're shouting, or they're there, or their energy is loud. It's a difference when we're talking about the King of Pentacles. They're there because it's taking up a lot of the energy in the room, because it's solid and it brings the energy down. It's stable. He was in charge. But it wasn't bossy. It was just like unspoken that he was in charge and that he was the leader or the decision maker, and he was loved. Like she said, he was the head of the family, and people adored him and loved him and wanted to listen to him and wanted to do right by him because he was so in charge and grounded and sweet. Here's what the King of Pentacles, or the King of Earth, love this. Was he a Taurus moon? He was a Taurus moon, and so am I, which is why I loved him so much. That's so sweet. Yes, he was a Taurus moon. Very earthy, grounded energy. He had like 5 planets in Taurus. So yeah, look at this King of Wands, or King of Earth, King of Pentacles. He is very secure. He's very stable. Dumbledore. Yes. Yes and no. I feel like Dumbledore has a weird dimension to him that can come across King of Swords, just because he's so frustrating when he's communicating. But if we take his communicating out of it and we just sense like his energy and his presence, and not with like how he communicates, I would say he feels a lot like the King of Pentacles. I would definitely say that for sure. So yeah, that is the King of Pentacles, King of Coins, or the King of Earth in these decks. That's how they're breaking them down. So King of Swords is next. We're getting through it, you guys. King of Swords. And the King of Swords is, again, let's think back on what we were talking about through the rest of the swords, or the rest of the sword suits. The Page, the Knight, and the Queen. We're talking about intellect. We're talking about decision making, taking a lot of that emotion out of it. They're very logical and practical and learning based. And so let's move now to like a more stable, solid energy. And again, I feel like this suit gets a lot of bad rep, and I really, really like the swords. I think it's necessary here, but let's see what Melissa says. Politically, the king is not someone you choose. He's given to you, even imposed on you. He is a positive figure, however, as it is his job to keep the kingdom running. Part of this is being sure that everyone has food to eat. Another part is throwing down for anyone you're responsible for. A good king should do both with equal enthusiasm. Think of how kings use their swords to knight their comrades and to execute their foes. There's a balance here. This king is very similar to Justice. Yeah, I would say this relates mostly to the Justice card in the Major Arcana. He is very fair, and emotion doesn't enter into his decisions very much. If you look behind his throne, though, you can see a dense fog bank. In other basic decks, you'll see the tiniest stream of water behind him. Both are indicators of the tiniest bit of a give-a-damn that he holds for you and your feelings. He is the judge or the policeman. John Wayne for real. His way or highway, fill your hand, you son of a bitch. So, I think Melissa's back now. Motto for King of Swords, don't start none, won't be none. Yeah. Okay. Got you. I got you. Now are you asking about Dumbledore? Oh no, that was Dumbledore for the Pentacles. So this energy, let's look in the, where's my King of Swords? Here's my King of Swords for, look at this pyramid of energy. All you see is the head. You don't need to see, that was cute, Victoria Lynn. Welcome back, Melissa. You don't need to see anything else because it's here. It's head, it's intellect, it's hearing, it's seeing, it's talking, and it's very diagonal, this triangle coming to a point. Let's get to the point. Here's the decision. I feel like they're, like Melissa said, the policemen, the judges, again with the Queen of Swords, think of Judge Judy, but she also can take on the King of Swords energy. I feel like I'm trying to think of a good King of Swords reference for you without having more of a challenging aspect, but having this be like a positive. Sup boo. So let's look at the King of, this is really good. I really like this as the King of Air. Like, look at him. He's got a lot of armor on, and he's probably gonna need it because he's gonna say what he needs and make the decisions, and he's not probably gonna be very liked for it because there's always gonna be someone that's gonna have a problem with him. I would say we see a lot of political figures. I wouldn't say Donald Trump because I feel like he could be a reversal of like the King of Wands maybe, but also, yeah, okay, so King of Swords could be Gandalf, Professor Lupin, yes, Minerva McGonagall. I definitely see, yes, McGonagall as King of Air. See her kind of a little bit more as queen, and not just because she's a female, but because how I associate the females that are Queen of Swords in my life. Very Professor McGonagall. But yeah, Gandalf, Professor Lupin, definitely King of Swords. Thank you. Clarity. Lupin was not always nice to Harry, but was always pointing him in the same direction. Exactly. They're very definitive. They're very decisive. They're very intentional, and they bring things down. So yeah, Mary Poppins. So when we were talking about Queen of Swords, I said Mary Poppins. And again, this is where it gets difficult because for who we're saying for the queens, also could be the kings, because it's definitely along the same platform, even though when the decks were created, it was very king above queen, and we still see that sort of now, but it's not. It's more so take the feminine qualities, or the yin energies is better described, and the kings are the yang energies of go out and get, and the females are more like sit down and attract. So that's why I would say McGonagall feels more Queen of Swords for me, and Gandalf feels more King of Swords, and not just because it's male female, but because that's just the energy of them, it feels like. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so King of Swords. Oh gosh, my cards are so messed up here. We have two more. We are now on the King of Wands. This guy is not my favorite. Just gonna say that. The Page, Knight, and Queen show the process of learning how to handle your business. The King of Wands is the pinnacle of control. It's all coming from him. He's sitting casually, leaning forward, and staring at you. Do you see him? He's like, no pressure. He is the instigator. The fire is difficult to manage in the other cards, but not with the kings. With the king, the fire is inside of him and he controls the burn. I always think that the King of Wands is just about to stand up. He's sitting forward, backed by the lions. He has a lizard at his feet, and the fire salamanders on his throne. He has flames on his crown and the fiery orange robe, and his hands are clenched. He looks like he's about to jump up and kick some ass, possibly also taking some names in the process. This card captures the energy of the wand suit, action, passion, and getting things done, with the focus and confidence of the king. His wand is a step ahead of him, which is how his mind works. He's an artist, a passionate lover, and an idea man. You know those people who walk into a room and the other people in it automatically make room for them? There is a very subtle hush in the room as everyone takes measure of the new person, and everyone is wondering who they are and how they did that. That's this guy. He's probably not a rock star. That's the page or the knight, and he's very successful manager of the rock star. Fire cards are all about movement, and this guy is the master. He has control, which is lacking in some of the other wands. If this card comes up for you, there is really nothing that can get in your way. I cut a little bit of that reading out to save time, but yeah, that's what I'm saying, and we don't have to get political with it, but he's a very intense energy, Trump. So I would say definitely Trump is kind of like having this power and having this intensity and this action and this passion, but maybe in an aggression or maybe a little bit more of a sloppy way. Again, I don't want to get political. It's not my jam. It's not my thing. But yeah, he is very much an extreme archetype. I feel like that you could see if the King of Wands wasn't using their energy in their best ability. It comes across really, yeah. Peter Pan to me is a little too immature. He doesn't understand. He doesn't get the concept of things. So Peter Pan is definitely Wands energy to me, but I would think of Peter Pan as more of the Page of Wands. Maybe I don't even see him yet to the Knight of Wands. He's just too... He doesn't get it. He's a child still. So I would think yes, you're on the right suit, but I would think Peter Pan more of Page. He has a stick up his ass. Yeah, I don't want to get political either. For sure. The arrogant, ego-driven, oh my gosh, let me take a drink of water, is definitely King of Wands. Yeah, but again, I don't want to give this energy a bad rep because this is necessary. This is the leader. This is the... this energy is very forward, like she said, like it's here. There's no ignoring it, and there are these figures that it definitely we need. Maybe not in, if we're talking about Trump, maybe not in that position or that type of, he was a really great businessman, you know, like he has his things. I'm sorry, that Mufasa, when he saves his son, yeah, I still cannot see Mufasa as anything other than the King of Pentacles. And remember what I said with the Queen of Pentacles, where it's like, think of her as Taurus the bull, and she's like grazing, and she's doing her thing, and she's doing her housework, and she's baking the cookies for the kids' friends. She's getting ready to host. But if she sees red, it's very, very hard to stop her. She will do anything to protect her children and her home and her job and those material things. That's where I think that King of Pentacles comes out for Mufasa, as in like he's trying to protect what it is that he loves. Whereas this is much more, look at the energy coming across on the card from the Fountain Tarot. Look at how this is a very specific energy and it's bursting out. And here is I love this little King of Fire. Look at how cute he is. He seems a little bit too grounded for me, but he definitely looks like a leader. He looks like a decision maker. He could have been a warrior. These would be like the kings that were the head of the army, that they led their army into battle, and that they were the fiercest of warriors, and they've earned their spot on the throne to come down and now rule. But if if the situation arises where he has to go out and he has to go to battle and to war again, he's not going to be the king that's going to sit his ass on his throne. He's going to get on his armor again, and he's going to get out and lead the army, even if he's too old and shouldn't be doing it, if that makes sense. The wand is blooming. Leaves are coming out of it. Do you see that? Do you see that? I'll see if I can... Talking about, look at how, so there is a lot of kinetic energy and potential for growth. Yeah, I feel like this is really powerful energy, very passionate, very driven. Yeah, King of Wands is driven by passion and values. You took the words right out of my Hi the Heart Road. You took it right out of my mouth. I feel like this one gets a bad rap, and I can see why. It's not my favorite. Not my favorite, but it's necessary. Think if we only had King of Pentacles ruling, we'd be very comfortable and set in our ways, but sometimes change is necessary. sometimes we need that person to come up and be like, listen, let's change it up. And obviously there's going to be those Pentacles people. They're going to be like, no, I don't like change. It's fine the way it is. We'll deal with it. But Wands is that energy that makes change, that gets things going, that is putting things in place, whether you like it or not, and they're going to evolve and keep things going and stirring it up. All right, finally, we're going to end with the King of Cups. Look at this king. I was going to say queen, but you know, maybe. This King of Cups is one of my favorite energies. I feel like one of the hardest to describe because I'm out of focus. Because once we get to the kings, we're so secure and we're so stable and we're so, like Melissa said, black or white, no gray. But when it comes to feelings and emotions, it's hard to describe that because feelings and emotions tend to be fluid and you can't control them. So here's what it looks like. Let's just show them all at once. I absolutely love the King of Cups in the Fountain Tarot because he's seated, he's secure, but he's surrounded by a lot of water, but he's also in a business, like he's in a suit. So he's still very like in charge. He's probably a businessman, but maybe in something more so feelings nature. His feet aren't touching the water, so he's near it, understands it, but not all up in it. Exactly. Please, someone give me an example of a good King of Wands. Yeah, we didn't really do that, did we? Somebody think of a good King of Wands. I'm trying to think. King of Wands. You know what I have? Hold on, you guys. I did this a while ago. Let me see if I still have it in this book. Oh, okay. We're going to go back to this after we're done. Pa Ingalls from Little House. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. We'll go back to this after and look at this to recap and to end off because I'm getting a Captain Adams from Battlestar Galactica. Yes. Okay. So King of Cups. Think of King Triton. Do you guys remember Captain Kirk? Yes, 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 yes. Think of, do you remember Ariel from The Little Mermaid? King Triton. And when I show you this, look at this. Thank you, thank you. Look at this. The King of Water. Do you see how he's a ruler? He's a leader. He has a Triton, so he can go into battle, but he'd much rather sit at home and play with his kids or, you know, talk to this fish. And he seems like such a nice, genuine person. This is someone that you really want to open up to and that you'd feel pretty comfortable opening up to right away because they understand feelings, they have emotions, they're okay with showing it, and like, think about the way that King Triton or in Little Mermaid would reprimand his daughter, you know? So King of Cups, this is what Melissa says to end off the court cards. He's fair. He's a good warrior and a good friend. He wants what he wants. What a sweetheart. Look at the card. He's surrounded by water and not a toe is covered. He's surrounded by all the emotions and yet can operate in the world without getting positively soggy. This man truly loves, truly invests in people in his life. He is compassionate and kind. He makes everything better for everyone he comes into contact with, sometimes to his own detriment. Let me just make sure that's everything. Yeah, so the King of Cups to me is very Ariel's dad from Little Mermaid. He's just sweet and funny, but could probably easily be manipulated just because he's so... King of Cups is King from Undertale. I don't know that, but probably. I don't know what that one is. So what I have for King of Cups would be... my dad is a kind of a King of Cups energy, but sometimes he can be in a reversal Knight of Wands. So that's kind of, you don't know my dad either. So, but I have that down as something to connect to with me. He's just, think of how we talked about Dan from Roseanne. Yes. but mixed with the King of Pentacles to me. So, okay, let's go back through the beginning of the cups, right? So we talked about the Page of Cups being like the Ron Weasley, very sweet, very kind of heart-centered, emotional-centered, very sensitive, brooding kind of person of things. Then we go to the Knight of Cups, which is very Romeo, very artistic, again, very like the writers, the musicians, stuff like that. What would we say, like Kurt Cobain and stuff like that. I would even say like Amy Winehouse, if we were talking in more of a female way, where she was like, she like basically died for her love. Arthur Weasley, King of Cups. There we go, Melissa. Perfect King of Cups to me. He just wants you to do well and succeed. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yes, I would say Arthur Weasley, total King of Cups to me. So this is... Or even, like we said, Lily from, like Lily, Harry's mom, would be Queen of Cups. I totally see his dad as being King of Cups too. His dad is kind of mixed a little bit. So I would say Ron Weasley's dad, or Mr. Weasley, is more of that like true King of Water energy. Yeah. Trying to think, that's it. Do we do it? Do we do the thing? Ariel's father. Yeah, that's exactly, yeah, you missed it, Victoria, and I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty, that's the first thing that I went is like, and this card looks like him too. And so when I saw this card, I was like, oh yes. And in Little Mermaid, Ariel's dad is totally the King of Water to me. He's sweet, he's emotional, he's like just wants her to have a good time and to learn, but he's also going to stand up for what he needs for you to do. So okay, so the King of Wands, here we go, we did it, we did the thing. Probably I was walking my dog real quick. Good, you take care of your dog. This live stream went for 3 hours. So there are a few pages left in the book. She talks a bit about reading professionally, or when you start reading for others. There's really juicy, good things in here to read. And I'm not going to go over what they are just because not everybody is to that point. But if you guys have the book and you read it, I would love to hear what you have to say in the Witchy Facebook group. Gotta read Harry Potter. It's amazing. Yeah, Debbie, for sure. So she talks a little bit for the rest of the book about professional tarot reading, you know, tarot etiquette, what she thought about, like what she has for some of her rules for how she reads. Like, don't touch my cards without asking me first. It makes me stabby. Don't try to convert me to your religion. Don't haggle. I post my prices very clearly on my website. Those kinds of things. And she breaks it down and makes that type of questionnaire that people have about going further after you've learned the tarot and you've done it for yourself. Payment, social media, and a business. This is really, really great. Applied to be a part of the Facebook group. We will definitely, don't ask people for free readings. I have a feeling about this. Wait until they offer. Yes, 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 yes. I've made a video on why I don't finish other people's readings and why I don't do free readings. When readings go weird, and then a conclusion. This book is amazing. All agreed? Everybody agreed? This book is amazing. I feel like it makes it so easy, so like concise and practical and down to earth and modern way of learning the tarot. And that's why I've been literally just gushing about this since the moment that I had it, like when it came out. And I'm super excited for Melissa's new book to come out. And I'm hoping that we can maybe put it up for topic for Witchy Book Club again to revisit tarot after we do a few books in between. Thank you so much to Melissa for being a part of this, because today's live stream was amazing that you could give your insight and help me out with things. When I was first, not when I was first, but I had sat down and like done this a while ago for myself and broke down each of the court cards and tried to list like different things that I saw for like different associations. So I've been doing this for a while. I think it's fun. And I had literally on the side Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Gryffindor for the same ones that we said. So like the wands for me is very Gryffindor, Slytherin is cups, Pentacles is Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw is swords. Just looking at these, a few of these that maybe we didn't come up with that I can give you would be, let's see, actually all of these are here. Look at this. Look, my voice is so high. I had Neville Longbottom for the Page of Pentacles, Ron Weasley for the Page of Cups. It's so funny because when I did this, AJ, my stepson or my boyfriend's son, was a couple years, younger than he is when I broke this down. And now I see him as the Knight of Cups, but I originally had him in here as the Page of Cups, which just like makes me want to cry. That's so funny that I put him for Page of Cups and now I totally see him in high school and with his energy of the Knight of Cups. So weird. Okay, and then let's see. I had Professor McGonagall as Queen of Swords. Oh, Knight of Swords energy in a woman or in a celebrity. Do you guys know who Anna Kendrick is? Anna Kendrick, who she was in, what was that? Pitch Perfect, and she's very quirky, sassy, witty. She's very Knight of Swords energy to me. She's very communications based and sharp and witty. Oh, someone who is another Page of Swords to me is Dakota Fanning when she was a child in all those movies, like the way that she could use her words and express herself. Maybe I see her more a little bit now as like the Queen of Cups now that she's older. Again, I had Tyra Banks and Beyonce for Queen of Wands. Oh, you know who's another good Page of Wands is Alfie from The Christmas Story. Red Ryder BB gun with, all that energy. Very Page of Wands energy. I thought that was going to be helpful, but pretty much a lot of the things that we already brought up I had in there. So let's just recap really quick and I want to get going. You guys are saying thank you so much to Melissa. I am going to be leaving a link down below where you can get Kitchen Table Tarot off Amazon if you have not already, plus pre-order her book that's coming out in March. I'm going to be leaving lots of links down below. Give me a bit when this posts because I need to go pee and I need to get some food and stuff like that. And so I feel like I want to just recap really quickly. We need to do the homework. I am assigning homework and I'm very excited about it. So the homework, thank you for your live stream. Thank you so much, The Heart Road. Again, if you guys feel in your hearts that you'd like to contribute to this, there is a super chat option. There's so many of you who contributed to this live stream today, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's why I can keep this platform as a free platform and not go on something like Patreon. Not that there's anything wrong with Patreon, but it's just not for me right now, and I want to have this as accessible for anyone and everyone as possible. Our homework this week, and for the last homework for Kitchen Table Tarot, comes out of, again, the Tarot Activity book by Andy Matzner. So how do we tag you if we wanted to share your YouTube on Facebook? It will only let me tag the group page for some reason. You can just DM me and let me know, or something like that. And yeah, you can tag the group page if that's cool. And if you've answered every single one of the questions for the giveaway, let me back up. Here's our homework from the Tarot Activity book by Andy Matzner. So we went through the court cards. We have a pretty good understanding, right, of all of these archetypes, all of the different levels and layers, and how it's gender fluid and all of that. I feel like we broke it down pretty good here. 3 hours, and we started a half hour in, so 2.5 hours, we broke it down. This comes from here, but I'm going to just kind of be using this idea and make it very open for you guys. So the idea of a totem pole. I hope that I'm not offending anybody by taking this idea from any culture specifically. It's not I'm not trying to offend, but I'm trying to keep this as a, let me read here, okay? Totem poles originating among the indigenous peoples of the Pacific Northwest are tall sculptures made from trees. The sculptures are composed of segments representing people and or animals and are carved one on top of the other so that the viewer's eyes naturally moves in a vertical manner. In some tribes, the images on the poles were read from top to bottom, while other tribes, they ran from bottom to top. Totem poles were traditionally used for several purposes. Some illustrated family histories, Others told stories about the tribe or described myths and legends. Sometimes a totem pole contained carvings of specific animals or spirits associated with a family or tribe. The images on a totem pole could also be used to demonstrate a family's rank to outsiders. So here's my idea and what I want. I'm going to leave it super, super open, but I'd like this to be a little bit more of an arts and crafts type of thing. So if you're not an artsy person or you don't have time with this, but you want to be involved, I'd love to see what you guys come up with in the Witchy Facebook group. Is I would like to see one of two things or both if you feel inclined. So your task, your mission, if you choose to accept, the homework is to create some sort of totem pole. Okay? I'm Native American and give you permission to base the tarot exercise on this concept. Win. Thank you, Melissa. So we're going to be creating a archetypal court cards totem pole. You can do this one of two ways. You can do this based around your family. So the archetypes of your mom, your dad, or maybe your mom and your mom, or however this is for you. Maybe you're raised by grandparents. Maybe you're raised by a sibling. So I want you to think of this in like a linear story of your family. And I want you to pull out or try to depict those archetypes through the court cards. So this is so open and fluid to you. If you're not artistic, you can just like maybe draw a line in a page and write out, you know, dad, King of Cups, or mom, Knight of Wands, or whatever it is. Show some sort of linear things. In this book, Andy Matzner talks about getting like a roll of toilet paper or a paper towel roll and like cutting out things and gluing them to the paper towel roll and actually making a totem pole to set out on your altar. If you want to go in as making a collage, cutting from catalogs and cutting things that represent these cards to you and making it you know, an actual totem pole that way, you can draw it, whatever you want to do. I want you to think about people in your life that you associate to the court cards. And I want it to be sort of like a totem pole lineage of either your friends, your family. Do it how you need to do it for you. If you want to do it as you, as a child in the family that you grew up with, or maybe now you're an adult and you have, you know, a family of your own and you want to put it that way. But I want you to think and break down some of the people in your life as representing or kind of, and that's hard because we all have all the tarot cards within us. Remember, all of us can be multiple and are multiple and carry all of these energies within us. But who do you resonate with the most? Who do you feel like your grandparent was or whatever? Leaving this totally open for you, but we're thinking about this in a totem pole way and trying to connect more with the court cards. Be as artistic as you want or just write it out in a journal prompt way. I would love to see what you guys have and share in the Facebook group. I'm super excited for this one. It's going to be a little bit harder to just do a live stream and to talk about like who is what and how. I would like to see this in a little bit more of a creative way. If you don't draw and you just want to break it down and line up the cards, and if you have two King of Pentacles energies, maybe pull from a different deck and just take a picture of like, this person is this, and line them up and look at them and think about how that is that environment you were raised in. Are we kind of clear? Because it's very fluid and open, but I have an idea here. We're making a totem pole. If not particularly artsy, you can do a collage representation, clip out magazine images and stack. Just an idea. Yeah, obviously. Jinx. Sorry, I didn't read that quick enough. But yeah, you can pull from things or, you know, some of the characters that we came up with. You can print out pictures of them and put them however you want to do it. But I want you guys to come up with some sort of totem pole. Yeah. Okay. Whew. We did it. I need to go. I need to pee. I need to eat. Thank you so, so much. Remember, this is the last live stream for Kitchen Table Tarot, and this is the last question to answer once this posts and it uploads, and I post a question in here to be entered for Melissa's free phone reading. Come on, guys. She was in here, and obviously she is incredible. She knows her stuff. Thank you again. What are we reading next week, pages wise? I already announced it. I will leave it down below. Next week, we are not going to be talking about Uprooted yet. I will be doing a live stream, but I have assigned the reading. We're reading chapters 1 through 10 in Uprooted. So you guys make my heart so happy. Melissa, I love you so much. Thank you. So next week, I'm going to try and get Melissa on here live, even though she was here for pretty much the whole live. I don't know if that's going to happen. I need a week to recharge, but I will be going live. So we'll be doing kind of a casual Q&A. We can talk about whatever we want. If we want to re-go over the tarot, we can. But our reading assignment for 2 weeks from now, which is when we'll be starting Uprooted, is chapters 1 through 10. Any other questions, please DM me, leave them in the link below. I need to go. I love you so much. I will post everything I can in Witchy Book Club, a Facebook group, and down below. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much for people who donated. I so appreciate that. I love you. Have a beautiful, wonderful, magical day. I'll see you guys next time.